Participant, Assalamu alaikum. This is Asif Munir, Director Training, Punjab Higher Education Commission, and we are going to start the second session of the day. And we have with us Dr. Farhana Khurshid. Dr. Farhana Khurshid will conduct this session, and I would like to give a brief introduction of Dr. Farhana Khurshid before she starts. Dr. Farhana Khurshid has completed her PhD in ICTs in Education from King's College London. She is currently associated with Fatma Jinnah Women University, Rawalpindi. She is an experienced teacher and a seasoned trainer. She remained associated with. She is also associated with Punjab Higher Education Commission as trainer since many months, and she is an expert of IT in education and other technologies and platforms being used for the purpose of online education. Today, he will be discussing about the online education platform and techniques with the participants. And uh, I would request Dr. Farhana to please take over and start the session. Madam, over to you.
Thank you very much, Asif, for introducing me to the participants. Assalamu alaikum, dear participants. So hope you are enjoying the training sessions arranged by the Punjab Higher Education Commission, which is really a commendable effort. And this is, I think, you definitely acknowledge this, that they have really made this effort in order to make you familiar with today's system, with online teaching and kind of stuff. So may I ask you, for which region you belong to, all participants? किस एरिया से आप लोग हैं सारे? हेलो,
अस्सलाम वालेकुम मैम। माय नेम इज इस्मत हाशमी और जितने भी ट्रेनिंग के पार्टिसिपेंट्स हैं वो खानेवाल डिस्ट्रिक्ट से बिलोंग करते हैं।
अच्छा, ठीक है, ठीक हो गया। सो मतलब ऑल द टीचर्स फ्रॉम खानेवाल जो कॉलेजेस हैं सारे उसके है ना?
अस्सलाम वालेकुम।
जी वालेकुम अस्सलाम।
मैडम, मैं मिसेस सुमेरा हामिद from Government Postgraduate College for Women, Khanewal. I am here assistant professor in geography.
अच्छा, गुड। चलें, वो एक्चुअली बस मुझे यही पूछना था कि कौन से एरिया से हैं, बिकॉज different areas they are being covered by the Punjab Higher Education Commission for this purpose. And hope you are enjoying this training sessions. आपने सीखा क्या है, आपका एक्सपीरियंस रहा?
जी मैम, नो डाउट जितने भी अभी तक हम लोगों ने सेशन अटेंड किए हैं वो बहुत जबरदस्त रहे हैं और हमें हर रोज कुछ ना कुछ नया सीखने को मिल रहा है। अपनी प्रॉब्लम शेयर कर रहे हैं और उसके हमें मल्टीपल सॉल्यूशंस मिल रहे हैं। कुछ हम लोग आप लोगों के एक्सपीरियंस से सीख रहे हैं, कुछ अपना एक्सपीरियंस शेयर कर रहे हैं। तो नो डाउट ये ट्रेनिंग हमारी बहुत अच्छी रही और आई विश कि इस तरह की अगर साल में एक दफा भी हो जाए तो हमारे लिए बहुत फायदेमंद होगा।
हाँ, रिफ्रेश हो जाता है ना इंसान, मतलब अपने जितने भी प्रैक्टिस आप कर तो रहे होते हैं, लेकिन ये कि थोड़ा सा एक लर्निंग भी है, प्लस रिफ्रेश कर लेते हैं अपनी प्रैक्टिसेस को। सो दैट इज वेरी गुड कि यू आर हैविंग गुड एक्सपीरियंस एंड लर्निंग from every session. So today's session, my session is about how we can make our online teaching effective, और किस तरह से हम अपनी related to the online teaching, which is I think today's demand, because we have to these days as well. So we are all involved with the online teaching or kind of stuff. So usse related ये वाला session है कि how we can as a teacher improve ourselves, or how we can plan our courses accordingly in order to meet the requirement of online teaching and the learning. So this is what the focus is about of today's session. So I'll share my screen with you. So hope my screen is visible.
नहीं मैडम
Ji. So what I would request you is that if you have any question, please you can ask anytime during the session. When I'm talking, you can just ask any question, but please rest of the time keep your mic off, because it's really create distortion, and it really actually break the flow of the session. So first of all, I just want to ask that I would be like, I could conduct session in any language, either in the Urdu or English. So in what language would be you would be the comfortable, either in English or Urdu? So in that language, I would continue my session. Ask your preference for the choice of language. किसमें आप चाहेंगे कि सेशन कंडक्ट करूं, मैं उर्दू में करूं या इंग्लिश में? हेलो
मैम, अगर
यू विश, हम तो हर एक इंशाल्लाह अंडरस्टैंड कर सकते हैं, लेकिन जिसमें आप कन्वीनियंट अपने आप को समझती हैं तो वेलकम.
नहीं, I am comfortable with both languages. I have no problem at all. But I'm just because
you can speak in English.
based on my okay. So that's fine. So today's session is about online teaching and learning platform and the resources. And this is about, because this session is actually planned keeping in view that we have to shift our mode of teaching from face-to-face to the online education. So for that reasons, it is important that it is not the straightforward way, that, or it is not the easy way that we move from face-to-face to the online, because online teaching has its own challenges, has its own requirement. So we need to learn that how we can improve our teaching and how we can prepare ourselves, or how we can plan our teaching according to the requirement of the online education, and also to satisfy your learner, because ultimately whatever we are wherever we are teaching in whatever the mode, either it is a face-to-face or it is on online. So we actually, the focus is what? Focus is basically how to make sure that the learning is there, how to satisfy our learners, how to make them understand the concept which we are teaching. So it is not the case that we just start teaching the topics and they have to learn by heart. It is basically the understanding and how to involve them into the classroom. So online teaching, because when we look into the last year, right from the March of the last year, when we keeping in view this COVID situation and then the lockdown, we have to move, shift our mode to the online. So when we look into the practices, so we see that yes, it is not easy for the teachers to shift to that mode. But if we look into the internet, the access which we have, the information which we have, there are lots and lots of resources which are available on the internet and which are free. We don't have to pay for it. Only what we have to do is we have to search for it. We just have to spend few of our time and then look for it. What type of resources, what type of material which we have, if we follow them, so we can become also a very useful and a good teacher as far as the online teaching learning is concerned. So that is the focus of today's session. So I really want you to interact, because I used to ask the questions. So please be active and reply promptly. So first of all, I just take a moment and just answer this question: what is online education? Based on your experience, based on your understanding, what you know about.
ma'am, online education.
Internet facilities.
Ji, or anyone else?
Ma'am, online education, when we teach children via laptop or multimedia or WhatsApp or other, using other
Yes.
devices,
Okay,
when
yes.
we are not in front of them, there is no need to go in front of them.
Yes. So online education is what is basically a flexible instructional delivery system that encompasses any kind of learning takes place via the internet. So that means one of the key for the online education is the internet. Without internet, we can't have this mode of education. So it's a flexible instructional system, or it involves online learning gives educators an opportunity to reach students who may not be able to enroll in a traditional classroom course, and support students who need to work on their own schedule and their own pace. So one of the advantage and one of the main benefit of online education is for those who are unable to come to the college, school, or the university, because maybe they don't have an access, they are living in some remote areas. So those who can't come to the actual classroom, so online education is blessing for them. So they can enroll themselves and get all the learning and the benefits as far as their any degree or any certificate or any program is concerned. So with the increased availability of the internet and the computer technology, students are able to access information anytime, any place that would normally be available only through the traditional classroom. So in case of when we look into the online education practices, so because of having this, uh, I think when we look into how the world is being transformed, so I must say that by having this www with us, the moment it comes to us, world wide web, the internet, the access to the information, I think lots of transformation has been took place. Or there were lots of change in the practices into the access of information, teaching learning practices and all that. So previously, as the teachers, they are considered authority, and the students always take the teacher's words the last word, and they always wait for the teachers to come to the class and teach and tell them, give them all, provide them all the information and the knowledge. But this is not the case right now. Because of the internet and access to the information, these practices, they are changed now. The student can themselves access to lots of information anytime and any place. So studies have shown that the students learn just as effectively in online classroom as they do in the traditional classroom. So this is again a very important fact about the online education, because if we look into the practices of the online education, so we see that it is new in our country. Because previously, like all the schools, sorry, all the colleges and the universities which are established in case of the face-to-face mode, so they don't have any practices of online education. Only the online education is virtual university which we have. So they are disseminating the education in this mode. But if we look into the practices of the other countries, the other developed countries, so they are utilizing this mode for the last many years. And although the colleges and the universities who are established on the face-to-face mode as well, they used to courses in an online. They are making their students familiarize and comfortable with this online mode as well. So keeping it that view, because these are the practices for the last many years. So they have conducted the research in order to find out, okay, as far as the learning of the students is concerned, or the teaching and the learning is concerned, which mode is better. Either there is some deficiencies, or there are some shortcomings in the online education, but the research says that the online learning is as effective as the traditional classroom. So this is what it is. We can't say that face-to-face is better or is good. Of course it is, because we are used to it, and we really still found that face-to-face is better, because whenever we found some room, there is some relaxation on the lockdown, whatever, wherever, we always demand for the face-to-face classes. But still, there is no big difference in online and the face-to-face. And online education, what it includes? It includes all the information and communication technologies, and then it uses the different forms other than the face-to-face. For example, in case of the face-to-face classrooms, the students sit and they take notes on their notebooks by the pen or the pencil or whatsoever. But now, in case of the online education, the teacher used to have the digital notes. Like I also, as a teacher in the online, I used to send to my students the readings which are in the form of the soft copy or the electronic version of that. Then we have ebooks. Rather than in case of the online education, the hard copied books, they are being replaced by the ebooks. And because it's not possible to have, in case then when students don't have access to the actual library and they can't consult the books. So e-version of the books, they are there to help them out. And then the teaching slides, of course, which you are, because in case of the face-to-face classroom, the teacher used to write on the whiteboard or the blackboard or whatsoever it has. But in this case, we use a teaching slide as a display for the students what we are studying and the teaching into the class. Then wherever it is needed, we can also have the video conferencing with our students. And then one of the important aspect of our education is the assessment. So assessment could be effectively carried out through the online education in the form of online quiz, online assignments, and online test. So that could be done very effectively and with the students as well. So then my other question is, because you also experience that the online phase of mode of education, and also we are being familiar with this used to of rather the face-to-face teaching. So what are the difference between online teaching and the face-to-face classroom? Women think and then respond.
Actually, ma'am, the online concept means the recorded lectures are available. The student can listen and understand. While it is misunderstood that the online classes that just like we are taking, these are not online classes. These are face-to-face classes.
So these are some of the points which I have jotted down based on my own experience of online teaching, which I found that these are some of the differences and what are the point of focus in case of the online education. So how the online teaching is different. Absence of physical meeting space, that is very obvious, that we are not sitting in front of each other. And then the time spent planning and creating the online content, this is a very important point. So this is actually the very important point in case of the online teaching. We actually, this is the if you could say, that is the key, that we have to very carefully plan and create the online content. That is the job of the teacher in case of the online, because this mode is different, of course, in case as compared to the face-to-face. So this is, if this point is not being taken into consideration properly, so that means we are not teaching properly. So we have to plan and create content for the online teaching accordingly, not in case of the previous practice of the face-to-face. Then communication via the mediated online channels. In case of the online teaching, we need any channel. For example, we can first of all we need internet, and then we use the Google Meet, Microsoft Teams, Skype, Zoom, or any other channel that is required, which is not required in case of the face-to-face. We are just talking to our students with each other, sitting in front of each other. But in case of online teaching, we need this any of the online mediated channel, without which is not possible. Then delayed feedback to the students. Yes, this is one of the difference, that if the student have some query, some questions, and they write those questions either on a WhatsApp which you have, or your email or whatsoever, but it takes some time to respond to the students. But in case of the face-to-face, you are there to answer any query of the students. Then emphasis on visual design of the content. So this point is again associated or linked to this second point, that the material which we are teaching, the topics which we are teaching, the content, it must have some visuals. either some videos, either the pictures. So in order to help our student to understand it more. Then flexible schedule, yes, of course. And then time online instead of the classroom. So most of the time, all the time we are online with our students. Either we are interacting through this Microsoft Team or Google or whatsoever, or we have also created the WhatsApp group of the students through which they can communicate. And then class participation replaces attendance. So this is again one of the point which I feel is how we make sure that our students, they are there into the class, online class. So it is the attendance which we take, or we just make sure that our students, they are there. And then most of our hours, they are being changed online web conference in the form of the online web conference rather than sitting face to face each other. So these are some of the points. Maybe you have some more points as well based on your own experience. But I just make these points which are, I think, more important points. But for me, if I look into all these points, for me, the second point, time spent planning and creating online content, and this emphasis on visual, these are very important points, because if we look into then this online teaching, so we really have to make sure that we create or we plan our teaching content accordingly. If we don't do that, so that means that we are not able to deliver well. So for that reasons, that all the pedagogical techniques or the skills which are practices, they are in face to face, they are not online. That first of all we need to understand. So for that matters, we have to very carefully plan our contents, our teaching material accordingly. So if I share my experience with you, so from the last year till now, when we are teaching in each semester, each course, we actually plan the entire course, and I call them the course package, which include all the reading material or all the power, so that they can benefit in case that when the teacher is not there, but the reading material is there, videos they are there which they can watch and learn the concept and any other thing. So this is important. But how we could do that? The other point is, so this is again not a thing that we have to go for any extra burden or extra thing. There are resources which are available on the internet which are free of cost, and we can plan our content accordingly. But what we need to do is, we first of all we need to be familiar with them, and then we have to spend some time in order to plan our materials accordingly for that. So today's session is about there are some educational websites, educational platforms which are available, to which we can take benefit as a teacher. Or those there are numerous platforms, but keeping in view the time, today we'll discuss only three, which are edX, Coursera, and Khan Academy. Have you heard about them before? About these educational websites or the platforms? Are you familiar with them?
Yes, ma'am, I'm familiar with them.
Okay. So have you used them before? कभी आपने इस्तेमाल किया इसको पहले?
Yes, ma'am, Khan Academy और Coursera पे मैंने काम किया.
अच्छा, ठीक है जी. So we'll discuss them one by one. So in order to see what are they, what are the resources they have, and how we can take benefit out of it. So first of all is the edX. So edX is is based on the massive open online course provider created by Harvard and the MIT. They both are American. Harvard University you are quite familiar with, and MIT is Massachusetts Institute of Technology. So they are American universities, and they have created this platform, and it is based on massive open online course, abbreviation of which is the MOOCs, which means that they offer the courses which are open. Massive means available to everyone, no matter to which part of the world you belong. They are open and online, so anyone could get benefit out of it. Then it hosts online university university level courses in a wide range of disciplines to a worldwide student body, including some courses they at no charge. So what edX have that on university level courses, that means they are very good and high level courses, and covering the wide range of disciplines. All the I think majority of the subjects area they are covering, and they are available to all the learners. I must say learners, because if I want to enroll some of the course, I could do that. And some of the courses, the good point of these educational websites, the platform is they also offer the courses which are free of charge as well. So it also conducts research into the learning based on how people use its platform. So because they are the universities which are offering this platform, so time after time they conduct the research in order to see that how the people they are utilizing their platform, either they are found it useful or not. For that reason, they conduct the research and keep on improving these courses. edX courses consist of weekly learning sequences. So these are the short courses which are the weekly learning sequences, means that these are not the courses which they give you all at once, or if it is a 6-week course, so you have to do it and that at the end you are being assessed. No, this is not the case. So they assess you, they provide you all the material on the week base. That means week 1, week 2, week 3. So they give you all the material for the on 1 week, and then provide you all the reading material and all that, and then give you do the assessment accordingly. Each learning sequence is composed of short videos with interactive learning exercises where students can immediately practice the concept from the video. So again, this is the point which I was just in that slide I was emphasizing on. Okay, for each topic, they have incorporated the videos as well and the interactive learning exercises. So through the videos, students watch those videos and learn that topic and the concept, and also the interactive exercises means that is a part of the assessment as well.
Excuse me, ma'am, your voice is not clear.
Hello. So all of you can hear me? सबको मेरी आवाज आ रही है कि नहीं?
जी मैडम, आपकी आवाज आ रही है, आप कंटिन्यू करें मैडम.
Okay. So maybe there is some problem with the internet at your side. Who said that voice is not clear? Please check your internet connectivity. I'm sorry if you could not hear, but I think majority of the participants, they can hear me. So, so that is the important point, that videos are incorporated or interspersed with every topic, so that the students can watch those videos in order to understand and then practice, also do the practice for the understanding of the topic. And then the courses often include tutorial videos that are similar to the small online campus discussion groups, online textbooks, and online discussion forum, where students can post and review questions and comments to each other and teaching assistant. So in order to make sure the participation, or the if the students, they need to have want to discuss something, and if they have some kind of queries or the question, so they have all those arrangements. The tutorial videos means they have those videos, if the topics they feel that they are some difficulty, or students, they, in order to make them comfortable with the offering of the course, so they have those tutorial videos, and then class discussion, and then they give the online textbook, ebooks as well, online discussion forums where the students can post their questions and they get the answer from either their class fellows or from the teachers. Then where applicable, online laboratories are also incorporated into the course. So that is one of the very good feature of this edX, that they have, because the courses, they belong to the different subjects. All subjects, they are not only the theoretical nature. So some of the subjects which have, for example, the science subjects, or the subjects like the electronics, the computer related subjects, so these need the laboratory as well. So they have this facility of online laboratory. For example, in edX, first MOOC circuits and the electronic course, students build virtual circuits in an online lab. So one of their course, which was on the circuits and electronics, so they provide the facility of online lab, and the students build virtual circuits in online lab. So this is, I think, one of the good feature. And then courses they are offered in the different languages: Arabic, Chinese, English, French, Hebrew. So the reason why they offer the courses in the range of the languages is basically because they offer them to the wide, to the people residing in every part of the world. So they actually try to focus. They could offer the courses in different languages, so everybody could benefit from these courses. So edX offers certificate of successful completion. Sorry, I'm really sorry. There is a problem. मेरा ख्याल है आज कोई generally भी आज generally कोई ना लाहौर में कह रहे कोई issue हो रहा है connectivity का ना, तो वो कोई network नहीं भी चल रहा है. So I'm really sorry for this disconnection. I just.
It's okay, ma'am. You can resume your session and share your slides.
Thank you very much. So, मेरी slide share हो रही है आप लोगों के साथ?
Yes, ma'am. It's
Hello.
visible. Yes, ma'am.
जी. So we were talking about the edX, and then so it is edX offers a variety of the ways to take courses, including the option to audit the course with which are the no. So audit the course means that, as I mentioned you earlier, that these courses they are offered on the weekly basis. So that means that if there is a 6 or 8 week course, so uske accordingly you can audit. For example, if you think that if this course is about a particular topic or whatsoever, so if you think that you know something about the first 2 weeks, you know it already, but you really want to learn something from the third week, so you can do that. You just enroll yourself from the third week onward, and then but in that case you don't get the certificate because you do not complete the entire course, and these are the courses which are free in nature as well. But there are other courses which are called as the verified certificate courses, which have some fees, and you have to complete that course and you get the certificate as well. And then there are courses which are called the X series certificate courses, which are the bundled set of 2 to 7 verified courses in a single subject. And then these are the courses which are offered related to the one subject and the specialization. And these are the courses maybe 2 to 7. So if you do all those courses simultaneously with them, so they do the concession, they give you the concession, and these are called the bundled set courses. So these are the different types of the offering from the edX. And then this is the URL from where you can access the edX website. But I show you by sharing my screen how you can access. So, so you can see my screen from the Google when it appears. So just write the edX. Click on the. So when this page appears, so click on the first website, which is the edX website link. Click on it, and this is the edX website. सब लोगों को visible है screen? Hello, participants.
जी मैम वो विजिबल हो गई है
जी बिल्कुल. So this is the main website or the main page of the edX. Here they have given all the information related to their. First of all, the first page is about the information. But if you look into the top right, so this is the option which you can avail, is that you register with them. Which is entirely free. You don't have to pay anything, but with your valid email you can register with them, And when you become the member of it, you register yourself. Next time you sign in. And the advantage of registering with them is basically that you got any information and update from the edX time after time through your email. Then this is the main page which give you the lots of information about their website or this platform, okay, what is there and how they are, what are the features which they have. So as far as the search is concerned, so there are few links on the top. So here you can find the relevant course. The courses, they are listed by the subject wise. For example, art and culture, architecture, biology, life sciences, business management, chemistry, communication, economics, finance, health and safety, history, languages, medicine, math, music. So these are all, I think, the subjects which are relevant, and we also offer the same kind of the subjects with us. So you can find the courses from here according to your area of interest and your subject area. So then the second thing is about some programs or the degree which they offer, and then the school and the partners which they have some universities. There are different universities which are the world-known universities which they offer courses to this platform. MIT and Harvard, they are the basic owner of this platform, educational website, but then the Berkeley, the University of Texas, Boston, University of Maryland, and then Georgia, and then other many universities, they are listed here, Australian national universities, and the University of Adelaide, University of Queensland, British Columbia. So these are all the universities which offer the courses through this platform. So this shows that they offer really high and the good quality courses. So how you can search the relevant course, for example, if relevant to your subject area, because I believe that all the participants of this workshop, they belong to the different subject areas. So you can search relevant to your own subject area or anyone else which you are interested in. For example, let's see if there are, if your area is, let's suppose, chemistry. So we just click to the chemistry, and then there are the courses which are listed here in the area of the chemistry. So this is actually the main links for all those courses. If you scroll it down, so they have all the courses which are there offered in the edX is offering related to the chemistry subject. So you can see there are many courses, and because chemistry again has different fields and the different branches, so they offer the many courses. So if you look into the link of each course, you can see that every course has its name. For example, Principles of Biochemistry. So who is offering? The Harvard University. So for example, World of Wine, From Grapes to the Glass, this is one of the course. The University of Adelaide is offering this course. And then the Harvard University. And then again, every MIT offers the structure of material. So the name of the university is there. And then relevant to your own interest, you can click to any link and then you can go to and got the detail of that course. For example, if you just click to the first course, Principles of Biochemistry, just click on it. And then you got the main page of this is the course page or the website, you can say. This is the principle of biochemistry. This introduction to the biochemistry explores the molecules of life. This is a brief description. And then this is a video about this course as well. So this video explains what this course is all about. Then it is said that it's actually 15-week course, self-paced. You can do at your own free time. And you can start this from today, 15th April, or about this course. If you scroll it down, so this is the detail about the course. The entire detail, what this course is all about. So before you just get yourself enrolled, first of all, read all the detail. So this is the detail. And then who is they have given, which is the institution, Harvard, language English, medicine, and then what are the prerequisites and what you will learn out of this course. So these are the learning outcome, what you will learn when you do this course. And then these are the teachers or the instructor, the two, Elaine and the Rachel, and these are offering this course. And then more detail about this course. And then again, यहाँ पर उन्होंने, they have also give you what is the verified. Verified means if you want to have a certificate for this course, so you have to pay $199. Otherwise, this course is free. Audit track में जैसे audit की बात मैंने आपसे बताई थी आपसे. So you can world-class institution, and so this is all about this course. So I would advise you, if you want to enroll, so please first of all read all the detail which they have given here. So read it and then decide, okay, yes, I want to enroll. So if you want to enroll, so this is the link, enroll now. So if you are convinced, yes, this is the course, this is what I want to learn, or this is what actually I'm interested in, or this would be useful for my student or whatsoever. So this is how all the detail has been given in for every course, which is listed in every subject area. So when you finish this today's sessions, at the end, maybe in the evening or whatsoever, when you get time, so you can search the courses relevant to your subject area and the interest. So, so this is about the edX or any other subject area where you can select the courses. So, could you tell me what is the benefits you are going to have through this? आपको क्या फायदा होगा जब आप ये कोई कोर्स करें? मेरी आवाज आ रही?
Yes.
Hello, participants.
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
Please, if you just could tell me that by doing these courses, what is the benefit you are going to have? आपको क्या फायदा होगा?
हमारी काबिलियत में और हमारे तरीकाकार में तब्दीली आएगी, हमारा नॉलेज बेहतर होगा, हमारा अंदाज हो सकता है बेहतर हो जाए.
जी देखिए,
जी मैम, इसमें क्या है?
जी बताइए.
मैम जैसे मेरा सब्जेक्ट हिस्ट्री है, तो हिस्ट्री की अब हम लोग जनरली ये समझते हैं कि हिस्ट्री से मुराद ये है कि हमने पास्ट को पढ़ना है, लेकिन ऐसा नहीं है. अब इसमें जैसे फिलॉसफी ऑफ हिस्ट्री इन्वॉल्व हो गया है, उसके अलावा रिसर्च मेथोडोलॉजी में बहुत सारी चीजें आ गई, इंटरप्रिटेशन ऑफ हिस्ट्री आ गया है, बहुत सारी चीजें आ गई हैं. तो इससे हार्मेनेटिक्स आ गया. इससे ये है कि हम लोग डिफरेंट कोर्सेज करके हम लोग अपने हिस्ट्री की अंडरस्टैंडिंग में या हिस्ट्री को पढ़ने में या हिस्ट्री की फिलॉसफी को अंडरस्टैंड करने में हमें मदद मिल सकती है. हमें इस चीज में मदद मिल सकती है कि हिस्ट्री की ब्रांचेस में फर्दर क्या क्या नई जो है ना वो रिसर्चेज आ रही हैं, और हम किस तरह से उनके बारे में जान के अपने स्टूडेंट्स के लिए मजीद आसानी पैदा कर सकते हैं.
जी बिल्कुल सही है. So again, if I देखिए, you get the benefit which are multifaceted. Number one, first of all, you got when you do some of the courses with them or any course with them, you got the skills for that, extra skills which you got. You can enhance your learning, or you can develop the understanding of those things which you still see that they are missing, because teachers, we are always the learner. We can't say that if we have done some of our qualification like MPhil, Masters, PhD, so we become the authority. That is not the case. So we are learning continuously. So we enhance our skill, number one. Number two, we got to know how the online courses being offered. कैसे ऑफर किया जाता है ऑनलाइन कोर्सेज को, कैसे कैसे वो when they give you the material for the reading, or they weekly on the weekly basis they provide you all the reading material or the videos. So we came to know how we can offer effectively the online courses. Number three, we get hold to those resources. All the reading materials or the videos which they have provided us as a part of that course, that become our resource. So we use those reading material and those videos for in our own teaching as well. So this is it. And again, above all, it will going to enhance your profile. So you can add into your CV, yes, you do those courses from such and such, offered by such and such university. So that is definitely is improving your CV. So these are the different. If I look into the online teaching and learning practices, because we are new into this system, so I found it useful that we got the understanding of how we can offer online courses, how we can plan our courses, similar to when they are being offered to us as well. So ये एक बड़ा इसका फायदा मुझे जो लगता है वो ये बहुत ज्यादा है, हमें भी समझ आ जाएगी कि हमें ऑनलाइन कोर्सेज कैसे ऑफर करने हैं. ठीक हो गया. So this was about the edX. So next is the Coursera. So the Coursera is, I think, I have heard about most of the people. They is more popular among the people, is more familiar through which mostly the people do their courses from the Coursera. So Coursera is very similar to the edX, but it has some features which are different from the edX. So the Coursera is a worldwide online learning platform founded in 2012 by the Stanford computer science professor Andrew Nick and the Daphne Kohler. So that offers massive open online courses, specializations on the degrees. So the Coursera is again based on what the MOOCs, massive open online courses, similar to the edX, and then they are they offer different specializations and the degrees as well. So this is one of the things which is, I think, different from the edX as well. And then Coursera courses last approximately 4 to 10 weeks with 1 to 2 hours of the video lectures a week. So these courses, they are approximately 4 to 10 week courses, short courses. And then every week, they have some video lectures alongside that as well. So these courses provide quizzes, weekly exercises, peer graded assignments, and optional honor assignments, and sometimes a final project or exam. So they have very effectively have covered the assessment part of it as well, because by providing the quizzes, the weekly exercises or the assignments and all that, so that the learners who are enrolled with those courses, they came to know how much they have learned. So how they offer the courses? Courses are also provided on demand, in which case user can take their time in completing the course with all of the material available at once. So this is one of the feature which is a very good, I think, convenient feature, because if I decide to do some of the courses and I feel, yes, this time I'm free, I have some 4 or 5 week some time free for me, I can spend more time. So for that matters, if there is for example, 6-week course, and you think I can spend more time and I can do this course, so you in a 4-week time, so you could do that. You ask them to they provide you all the material at once rather than on the weekly basis. So you do all the courses, assignments which are due for each week in a short time. So you can complete that course instead of 6. You can complete in 4-week time. So these are the courses they call on demand. But opposite to that, if you think, yes, you want to do some course which is really of interest, but you can't spend more time on it, so you can also do that. A 6-week course you can do complete in 8 weeks. So this is the flexibility they offer, and these are the courses they call on demand. And then it also provides guided projects, which are short 2 to 3 hours projects that can be done. And it is very useful for the college going students. So the guided projects, they are the 2 to 3 hour project, and it is based on some single skill. So if you want to learn something which is based on very quickly, so they offer you some projects which are guided in a sense that they have provided you step by step all the details. How could you do that? And plus there would be someone who is really helping you in order to complete that particular task. For example, if someone want to know how to apply the formula in the Microsoft Excel, So you can do that in 2-3 hours. You can learn that skill with them. So then Coursera offers in 2017 full master's degree. So this is how they are different from the edX. Okay, they are offering the full degree in place of the short courses. And then they first started with a master's in innovation and entrepreneurship from HEC Paris. So HEC Paris has first time offered the master's degree in entrepreneurship with the Coursera. Masters of Accounting from the University of Illinois, but have moved on to offer Masters of Computer Science and Data Science, Masters of Business Administration, both from the University of Illinois and as part of MBA. So they offer you the entire degrees. So this is their benefit. You can do the entire degree from them, which are offered by the different renowned institutions. And the courses, again, just like the edX, they offer into the different languages, so that the people living in the different parts of the world get benefit through the courses offered into the Coursera. So this is the link for the Coursera website. So again, we'll go to the Coursera. So as you can see my screen, again, usually we use this Google for search. So if you write the Coursera here, so again, click to the first link. So this is the main website or the main page of the Coursera. Again, like the edX, you can join for free through your email. And next time when you join through the email or register, then next time you can log in. So this is the main page of the Coursera. It has all the details which anybody who is using it for the first time, it has given all the information. The learners' views, those who did the courses with them, or it's all the details about their website. From the Coursera community, 77+ million people are already learning a Coursera. So the views, those who have been learning the courses with them. So if you have time, then you can search all the details from here. Again, how you can search the courses from here, explore. From the left, top left, there is explore, or again, the courses, they are listed according to the subject areas. Like art, humanities, business, computer science, data sciences. So here it is different from the edX in a sense. Okay, if we click to any of the link subject, so the 2 columns appears, 1 and the 2. So the 2 columns, why appears? Because this column is about the courses which they offer, and this is about the degrees which they offer. For example, it's the data science. So data science, where all the degrees which are being offered through the Coursera, they are being listed here. You can scroll them down, or then all the degrees, they are appear. So these are the data science website, or if we data science, these are the degrees. First of all, they have listed as degrees in the front, and then these are the degrees: Bachelor of Science in Computer Science, Masters of Science in Data Science, Machine Learning, Masters of Computer Science, and these all the degrees which they offer. And then in the bottom, they have listed all the courses which are offered in the data sciences. Popular certificate courses, these are again like the edX. Again, if you look into the courses, they are being offered by the different universities, Johns Hopkins University, or Rutgers, or the courses which are being offered by the Michigan State University. So the name is there, and then also the detail, specialization 5 courses, or they have given some of the details about the courses, and then foundation courses, and then data science courses further, they are being listed. And also, I'm just looking for some guided project. Yes. So these are the links for their guided project. As I explained, Okay, they also offer the guided 2-3 hours guided projects. So these guided projects, they are listed here recently, which they have listed. So that they are based on some skill, and it's free. They have also the free courses as well. So learn SQL basic commands. It's a free project, and then basic calculations with Python. So because that is related to the data sciences, that's why they are particularly specific to that. So this is the detail of one particular subject. Either you want to do a degree or you want to do a course. So you can select the course accordingly and just go into the detail. For example, if we say this is the course which is about applied data science with Python, it's offered by the University of Michigan. And then again, the detail like, okay, what this course is about, what you will learn. And then the skills which you will gain after doing this particular course. And then about this specialization. And then these are the people who have done these courses with them. And this is all the detail. And they have also given the syllabus of their course as well. And they said okay, there are 5 courses which are in this particular subject. And then these are the 4 instructors who are offering this course. So this is the detail. And then if we go on to the left side, so again, the further details, the certificate course, online course hai, flexible schedule hai, intermediate level hai. So all the detail has been given on this particular course detail. So you can read and then you can decide, okay, yes, this I'm interested in particular course. So you can enroll and do that course with the Coursera. Or you can search anything related to your own subject area. Then you can find more courses on that. So if we go to the, again, any other thing, maybe the computer science. So these are the courses related to the computer science. So if you scroll down, I just want to show you the guided project about if they have listed here. There are some being offered in computer sciences. Yes, these are the guided projects which are offered in the computer sciences. For example, these are relevant to the specializations of the computer sciences. Clustering model, build a clustering model, and then guess the color game, and then introduction to the unit input system. So these are those of you who are from the computer science specialization, they can understand. Or create a simple scene with ProGrid. So you can do these guided projects, or in 2-3 hours you can learn that particular skill. So this is about the Coursera. Any question which you have? And of course, they are offering the degrees in the computer science as well. Computer science, master's, bachelor, master of computer science, and every degree has been listed with the name of their university as well. University of Illinois offer kar rahi hain, and then all the details of the degrees are there. कोई सवाल आपका इससे रिलेटेड हो तो जरूर मेरे से पूछिए. आप अंडरस्टैंड कर रहे हैं? Hello?
Yes, ma'am, we are understanding.
Okay. So the next is the Khan Academy. So the Khan Academy is different from the Coursera and the edX. So Khan Academy is not basically offering the courses like that, or they are not the courses which are of the paid nature or kind of thing. So everything on the Khan Academy is free. So Khan Academy is an American non-profit educational organization created in 2008 by the Salman Khan, with the goal of creating a set of online tools that help students educate students. So it was the Khan Academy is developed or created by the Salman Khan in 2008. And then basically their aim is to help the students. So the organization produces short lessons in the form of videos. The organization started in 2008 when Salman Khan tutored one of his cousins in mathematics on the internet using a service called Yahoo Doodle Images. So how this Khan Academy was started? This Khan Academy was started by the Salman Khan based on his experience, because Salman Khan is based in America and his cousin is basically in Bangladesh, because Salman Khan is a Bangladeshi guy, or his area of specialization is mathematics. So one of his cousin who is in the Bangladesh, he want to learn something and want to have tuition from the Salman Khan. So he Salman Khan give the tuition or tutored that his cousin over the internet through the using the Yahoo Doodle image. Yahoo Doodle image is a facility or is a form in which the image there appear just like if the teacher is teaching and writing on the blackboard or the whiteboard. So this is then after the very successful experience of one of his cousins, so rest of his cousins, they have also started taking the tuition from the Salman Khan. And then due to the demand, so because the students, they really found it very useful, so more they got started getting tuition from Salman Khan. So because of this, the Khan decided to make his videos watchable on the internet. So he published his content on YouTube. So because this Khan Academy is established based on the non-profit means, so the Salman Khan's, it's a commendable effort. So he has made the videos of his teaching to his cousins or all other peoples, and then he published those videos on the YouTube. So you know that YouTube is a free to everyone, so anyone could benefit through his videos. So that is actually ये बड़ा अच्छी एक उसकी effort Salman Khan की थी. So the videos tutorials were recorded on his computer. So he has started recording all the videos on computer, and then laterally when he got lots and lots of videos, so he decided to make his own website. Or so the websites the moment he make his website, so it has also, this website also provide him other features that are supplement with videos, other features such as progress tracking, practice exercises, and teaching tools. When he established his website, so the website helped him a lot, because he could offer the practice exercises or any of the other teaching tools as well. So the material can also be accessed through the mobile application. So you can access the Khan Academy, all the material either through your mobile or your tab or laptop or whatsoever. Then the videos display a recording of drawings on an electronic blackboard, which are similar to the style of a teacher giving a lecture. So as I've told you, they are using the feature of the Yahoo Doodle image. So somebody's mic is on, please. If you could turn off your mic. So how the videos they are displaying, I'll show you the videos as well. So it really give you this impression of the teacher is teaching in front of you. The narrator describes each drawing and how they relate to the material being taught. Non-profit groups have distributed offline versions of the videos to the rural area in Asia, Latin America, and Africa. So this is again one of the very commendable effort by the Salman Khan. Salman Khan thought when he is teaching through the website, so the people, those who have access to the internet, can only benefit through that. But what about those people who can't have access to the internet? So for that matters, he have saved all his material, the videos on the CD, and then distributed it to the rural area of Asia, Latin America, and Africa. ये बड़ी उसकी, I think we appreciate it a lot. ये इसकी बड़ी commendable effort है कि जिसमें उसने offline mode के अंदर अपने ये सारे, and then videos range from all subjects covered in school and for all grades from kindergarten up to the high school. And then later on, the Salman Khan has also involved the people from the other subject area as well, not only in the mathematics. So sciences, social sciences, chemistry, physics, and all that. So, and then they cover all the subject areas. So Khan Academy videos, they have been translated into the several languages with close to 20,000 subtitles and translations available. So these videos, they also been provided with the subtitles. So subtitles means that everyone who can listen and simultaneously can read on the videos as well. Again, similar to the edX and the Coursera, the courses, all they are offered in the range of the languages, different languages, and so that the people can benefit out of it. So this is the URL for the Khan Academy. And then again, we'll see. So as you can see, this, we can search from the Google and write the Khan Academy. So this is the main website link for the Khan Academy. Again, this appears for me because I have already enrolled with them. So it appears to me because with my name and all that. When you start searching Khan Academy for the first time, when you enter the website, so this will that will be the different one for you, those who are the new user for that, because that will ask you how you are going to get benefit out of this Khan Academy as a student, as a parent, or as a teacher. So then it comes the next page like this. So again, this is the main page. And then from where you can search the courses, which is at the top left link. The courses, they are being listed subject wise, and here you can see. And one of again the feature, because he has started tutoring the school student, so he has provided the material from all the grade levels of the schools, then college level. And but I would suggest, because the material is available subject wise, so anyone, even the university teachers, could also get benefit out of it. I also get whenever I have to prepare my lectures, so I found it very useful, because they have all the different types of material whenever we have to prepare our lectures. So it is really help us to refresh or get our self-prepared better way for our classes. So again, subject wise, you can see the different courses, they are being listed subject wise, and then you can click to any of the area which interest to you. Or for example, some of you has if we just click to any of the subject area, like college chemistry. So when you click to that, so this is all the topics which are being covered into the chemistry, they appear. Or there are two ways you can find the relevant topic. One is the main, this is the main page, wherever you got, you click to that and get the information. Well, on the left side, this is the courses summary. So when you click to each course, so the summary appears. So wherever the topic you want, you can click here selectively, rather going, you scroll everything and then go to the, because they have covered all the topics: atomic structure and properties, molecular and the ionic compound structure, intermolecular forces and the properties, chemical reactions and kinetics and all that. They have covered all these topics. And if you scroll it down, so these topics, they are given in detail. 3 topics has its own subtopics and all the details. For example, if we see that the first topic is about the atomic structure and the properties. So atomic structure and the property, what it has, the further topics: moles and the molar mass, mass spectrometry, elemental compositions, composition of mixture, atomic structure, periodic trends, valence, and photon. So these are all the topics which are covered in this particular topic of atomic structure. And then if we want to see that moles and the molar mass or atomic structure and electronic configuration, if we click to that topic, so these are the details which are being covered in this particular atomic structure and the electronic configuration. And then if we go to look into this topic, so what we have, these are the different links through which you can access all the information. And you can see at the left side, there are different icons. This icon means this is the reading material. And this icon means the videos. So if we click to this link, so this is all the detail about the periodic table, electronic shells, and the orbitals. Introduction, periodic table, and then this is all the reading material, reading about with the pictures alongside. Ab dekhiye, you can see here how they have provided the reading material with the pictures, with the labeling. ये सारी चीजें उन्होंने इसके अंदर provide की हुई. All the detail about this particular topic, so that when you read, you can understand. And then the videos as well. So you can watch the video relevant to any of the concept. For example, this video is about shells, subshells, and orbits. If we click to that,
we've learned in other videos that the atom is in fact made up of even smaller.
So you see that यहाँ पर teacher जो है वो लिख रहा है, writing like a blackboard. And the captions, they are appearing with the video.
Now, the big question physicists and chemists were facing over 100 years ago is how are these things configured? And they realized that the positive charge is concentrated at the center of the atom. And in fact, most of the mass, which is made up of protons and the neutrons, is concentrated at the center. And so an early model for how an atom worked was
this is how the teacher is explaining and making the diagrams.
Another electron, if you're talking about a neutral helium atom, 2 electrons and 2 protons. Well, maybe the other one orbits something like this. I'm trying to just draw an elliptic or a circular looking orbit. And so this is the idea that the electrons are in orbits. Now, it turns out that this is not exactly the case.
You can watch at your own when you have time. This is how the videos, they are being, the teacher explained in those videos, which is, I think, very useful. And this is a link for the practice exercises as far as the assessment is concerned. So they have 4 questions. And if you click to that, so these questions, they cover each topic, maybe the MCQs type of the questions. Here you can see they have given, I think, the MCQs type. You have to click on the one option which you feel the right. And you can, I would suggest you that these exercises, ये जो सवाल होते हैं, MCQs type whatever, they help us as well. We can also plan or we can also use online जब हमने assessment करनी होती है उसके अंदर भी बहुत ज़्यादा हमें help कर रहे होते हैं. So this is all about the Khan's Academy, how we can access the videos, the reading material, and all relevant to our own subject area. Or you can also get benefit out of the Khan Academy, and you can also refer to your students as well. आप उनको particularly the things which you feel they are beneficial for your students, you can ask them, because Khan Academy has an option you can enroll as a student as well as a teacher and the parent. So they accordingly you can refer to your students so they can enroll themselves and get the details and the learning about that. So this was about all 3 educational websites. And so at the end, what is my message to you is important for me is for you as a teacher. While learning to utilize these digital resources, you need to have the right mindset or a way of thinking how these can be effectively integrated into the lesson. Ab dekhiye, this is the very important point which we have to focus on is that as a teacher, there is lots and lots of material available. I have showed you only the 3 educational websites, but there are numerous other websites which are available. So that means lots and lots of material. But what we have to do is, what our task is, what our focus is, we have to look into what is the we need to have a right mindset or the way of thinking how these can be effectively integrated into the lesson. So it is not possible that we can cover everything into our lesson, but what is the right and effective way of utilizing all the information which is available on the internet. Although it is थोड़ा सा हमें लगेगा कि ये हमें एक टाइम लगाना पड़ रहा है, but at the end the result would be when there will be the good response from our students, so that is being the reward for us as a team from the student. So the last words which I can say to you is that once you get the habit of exploring the tools, perhaps taking one step at a time and expanding your ideas on how to creatively use appropriate tool in a class, you will eventually see your transformation as a teacher. Look, I have bold this word, transformation as a teacher. What type of teacher? Who is becoming more relevant and effective in teaching content, while at the same time develop learners' capacity to be creative and think critically and become collaborative and effective communicators in the 21st century. So that is actually the focus, the target, that we have to transform ourselves one by one to facilitate our learner, to make them creative and critical thinker. So those thinkers who can adjust themselves according to the demand of the 21st century. So that is what actually we are aiming at and focusing at, and we need to get that. So that is all from my side. Thank you very much listening to me. And if you have any questions, so you are most welcome to. Hope you find this session useful. Any one of you who can say something?
Assalamualaikum, ma'am.
Ji, walaikum salam, ji.
Ma'am, I have seen on Coursera website that there are some free courses, but they are not awarding certificates. So can we join them?
Sorry, according what? Say again, I just missed that word.
I have seen some courses that are free on Coursera website. They are offering the courses, but they are not awarding the certificates. Is it true? Can we join them?
Yes, I've already told you that the free courses, they don't give you the certificate for the free courses. But if you have to get the certificate, so they have given you the fees, what amount you have to pay in order to get the certificate. आपको ये useful लगा और आप इसको जितने भी all, I would advise all the participants के at the end जब when you finish today's sessions, तो आप please इसको search करें अपने तौर पे और अपने से जितने relevant और useful courses हैं उनको देखें, खुद भी कर सकते हैं और आप अपने students को भी suggest कर सकते हैं.
जी मैम, खान एकेडमी पे इकोनॉमिक्स के हवाले से इतना ज़्यादा वास्ट मटेरियल नहीं है, लेकिन कोर्सेरा पे मौजूद है.
जी जी बिल्कुल.
थैंक यू सो मच.
जी वेलकम, थैंक यू वेरी मच जी. और इफ एनीवन हैज एनी क्वेश्चन, अगर नहीं है तो थैंक यू वेरी मच and all the very best and good luck for your future online teaching and all the other stuff. So thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, participants, it's time for break, so please be there at 2:30. और एक announcement है कि कल फर्स्ट सेशन सुबह 10 बजे स्टार्ट होगा, तो सो प्लीज बी देयर एट 10 AM. और जो आपकी इस ट्रेनिंग के बाद असेसमेंट होनी है, जो फाइनल असेसमेंट है, इट विल बी एट 4 o'clock जब आपका फाइनल सेशन कंप्लीट हो जाएगा. और जो लेक्चर्स की स्लाइड्स आपको मैंने सेंड किए हैं उसी में से होगा, एंड इसके अंदर या MCQs होंगे या फिर डिस्क्रिप्टिव क्वेश्चन होंगे. सो नो डेफिनेशंस वगैरह उस तरह की चीज़ नहीं है. सो दैट्स ऑल, एंड प्लीज बी देयर एट 2:30 फॉर द फाइनल सेशन ऑफ टुडे. थैंक यू.
अस्सलामुअलैकुम मैम, हम लोग यहाँ मौजूद हैं आपको सुनने के लिए, तो काइंडली प्लीज आप स्टार्ट करें.
हाँ जी, मैं उनका वेट ही कर रही थी कि वो आते होते हैं यूजुअली. सो एनीवेज वी कैन स्टार्ट.
यस, उनकी कोई कनेक्टिविटी में प्रॉब्लम है.
अच्छा, नॉट एन इशू. एनीवेज अस्सलाम वालेकुम, मेरा नाम सादिया सईद है और इट्स अ प्लेजर टू बी हियर एंड आपके साथ ये एक 90 मिनट की ट्रेनिंग है बेसिकली लेक्चर ही समझिए इसको, बिकॉज इतना इंटरेक्टिव तो है नहीं हमारा. एनीवेज, हमारा आज का टॉपिक जो है वो क्रिटिकल, क्रिएटिव एंड रिफ्लेक्टिव थिंकिंग पे है, कि हम खुद अपने आप को कैसे ट्रेन कर सकते हैं, फिर उसके बाद हम अगर ट्रेन हो तो furthermore we can train our students as well. स्टेप बाय स्टेप मैं आपको लेके चलूंगी थ्रू द लेक्चर कि थिंकिंग क्या है, फिर उसके बाद क्रिएटिव थिंकिंग क्या है, क्रिटिकल थिंकिंग क्या है, डेफिनेशंस है उनकी, और रिफ्लेक्टिव थिंकिंग का प्रोसेस क्या है, ये सारी चीजें किस तरह रिलेटेड हैं टू मेक अस बेटर ह्यूमन बीइंग्स, टू मेक अस बेटर टीचर्स, एजुकेटर्स and so forth. During this lecture, चूंकि जब मैं प्रेजेंटेशन अपनी खोल लूंगी तो आप को मैं नजर नहीं आ सकती, और I can't see you even now. So मेरी आपसे ये रिक्वेस्ट है, अगर किसी पॉइंट पे आप समझते हैं कि आपको कोई फर्दर एक्सप्लेनेशन चाहिए किसी भी चीज की, so you can always speak up and stop me, and I can go through the whole thing yet once again. I do not have an issue with that, absolutely not. Although after the lecture हम कुछ 15-20 मिनट रखते हैं questions and answers के लिए, so either way we can discuss the points जो भी आपके जहन में हो, तो वो हम बाद में भी बात कर सकते हैं उसके बारे में. मेरा थोड़ा सा एजुकेशनल बैकग्राउंड इंट्रोडक्शन के बाद मैं कराती चलूँ. पिछले काफ़ी अरसे से आई एम अ फ्रीलांस ट्रेनर. पंजाब जुडिशल एकेडमी में मैंने ट्रेनिंग कराई है जजमेंट राइटिंग में, और लाहौर कॉलेज यूनिवर्सिटी, कशरफ बैंक, सारों को इंग्लिश कम्युनिकेशन में ट्रेनिंग कराती रही हूँ. और उससे पहले मेरा कोई almost 15 years I've been teaching and training in Dubai, different leading institutes of Dubai for a very long time. Or I have 2 master's degrees, one in English literature, Punjab University से, और एक master's है University of Westminster से applied language studies में. All right, so let's get on with it. I'll share the screen with you. Okay. जी मुझे बस कंफर्म कर दीजिएगा कि आपको स्क्रीन नजर आ रही है.
जी मिस सादिया, आपकी स्क्रीन विजिबल है.
अच्छा चलो ठीक है जी. ठीक है. All right जी. So let's start with the very famous definition of thinking by Plato. And Plato defines thinking as the talking of the soul with itself. A very deep statement. And related to that, I would like to share with you एक आर्टिकल जो संडे डॉन में आया था 8 नवंबर को, और अक्सा एजाज ने एक किताब रिव्यू की, द आर्ट ऑफ सॉलिट्यूड बाय स्टीफन बैचलर. उसमें भी इसी कोटेशन का जिक्र था, तो मैंने सोचा कि ये आपके साथ मैं कुछ उसके एक्सर्प्ट्स शेयर करूं. स्टीफन बैचलर की ये किताब जो है वो आई थिंक आई वुड हाईली रिकमेंड इट. सो आई विल रीड सम एक्सर्प्ट्स फॉर यू राइट नाउ. मिस एजाज कहती हैं कि truly honest account of solitary life, it is only by learning to be with the shocking otherness of oneself that one learns to live ethically and more mindfully in the world. Be that as it may, one might ask what possible relation solitude has to one's ability to interact with the world more meaningfully. Moreover, what relation does it have to one's freedom? After all, interaction is preconditioned on the presence of the other and not on solitary life as such. The answer is that everything depends on our ability to be truly and reflectively alone with ourselves. Because it is in the solitary hours of one's being that we come face to face with who we are. There are no like-minded friends or romantic partners to affirm us. We must face the wrath and benevolence of being alone. As Bachelor points out, the reward of such a solitary life are endless, for it prepares us to love, care, and understand much more meaningfully. She further says, well-cultivated solitude, on the other hand, allows us to be distinct and independent in our ways of thinking. It invites us to reflect with attention on what French philosopher Simone Weil considered a form of prayer. More importantly, as Bachelor's chapter on Agnes Martin's paintings beautifully depicts, solitude that trains our attention chisels our way of seeing. It is only in solitary companionship with oneself, what Plato called the sacred dialogue between me and myself, that one is enabled to love and witness truly. It is only through revelations in solitude that we must learn to restore dignity to ourselves and to others. For our future as humans is only secure if we are able to be attentive and thoughtful, abilities which we must cultivate through reflective thinking and serious reading. Bachelor's book is highly recommended to everyone interested in what constitutes our fundamental humanity and how we must cultivate and preserve it for creating a better and more meaningful world. A very highly recommended book, I must say. Now let's have a look at some historical experiment which was called Torrance Kids. In 1958, 400 children completed creativity tasks designed by Professor E. Paul Torrance. The children were asked, how could you improve this toy to make it better and more fun to play with? Those who came up with more good ideas on Torrance's tasks grew up to be entrepreneurs, inventors, college presidents, authors, doctors, diplomats, and software developers. Jonathan Plucker of Indiana University recently reanalyzed Torrance's data. The correlation to lifetime creative accomplishment was more than 3 times stronger for childhood creativity than childhood IQ. At this point, we would start to understand what critical thinking is. Donald R. Cruikshank is a professor in the Department of Theory and Practice at Ohio State University. And in his article, Critical Thinking Skills for Teachers, he outlines what should be done to improve the critical thinking skills of pre-service and in-service teachers. Robert M. Hutchins said, and I quote, "One thing is essential to becoming a human being, and that is learning to use the mind. A human being acts in a human way when he thinks." So what is thinking? Thought implies higher level mental activity, and the word think conjures up a variety of types. Dictionary definitions include to consider, to reflect on, to call to mind, to devise, to form a mental picture of, to subject to the process of logical thought, to exercise the powers of judgment, conception or influence, to reason and to meditate. Use of thought or thinking enables us to know about and understand objects, events, and ourselves. A major outcome of education is the development of thinking ability. It is unclear, however, whether or not thinking can be taught. Likely, it is a function of both nature and nurture, heredity and environment. Early on during infancy, development seems most related to physical sensory experiences. As humans mature, they depend more on thinking. At best, it is difficult to teach thinking, especially higher level thinking. For example, problem solving usually is taught by providing learners with problems to solve without much regard to how. If thinking capacity or range can be enhanced to some extent through experience, then thinking skills should be identified that can be taught or at least practiced. A number of persons feel they have identified thinking skills and operations. Pop, Robinson, and Robinson suggest they can be contained in 3 categories. Basic operations include skills in observation, correspondence, classification, and seriation. Complex strategies are those thought to be associated with inquiry learning and problem solving, which include curiosity, persistence, and carefulness. Nicholson categorized the kinds of thinking taught in programs developed for school use as follows. Number 1, cognitive process. Approaches to teach mental skills such as comparing, ordering, classifying, inferring, and predicting. Number 2, heuristics. Example, discovery and problem solving. Formal thinking is number 3, or we can call it stage development programs, bringing persons from the concrete to formal operations. Number 4, language and symbol manipulation, with writing as a means of developing thinking skills. Number 5, thinking about thinking, where thinking is the subject matter and there is the assumption that learning about thinking can improve thinking. And number 6, learning strategies. For example, knowing and practicing, memorization, rotor skills, underlining, summarizing, note-taking, diagramming, and so forth. Certainly, there is growing interest in fostering thinking skills in pupils. Martin notes, however, that although schools are beginning to focus extensively on cognitive skills for students, they are giving little attention to the impact of those skills on teachers. Further, Martin suggests that not only are teachers unprepared to foster cognition skills in their pupils, they fail to apply systematic thinking to their own daily instructional tasks. That brings us to the question, how, if at all, can thinking be taught to teachers? Teachers, perhaps above all others, should be capable of using the mind. Foremost, they need to be vigorous investigators of their own thinking. Ideally, by nature and nurture, they should possess and demonstrate higher order mental abilities they intend to propagate in their pupils. If they do not possess and demonstrate such abilities, it is because teacher education units have failed to select teacher candidates with these attributes. They have failed to engender them during the pre-service program, or local education agencies do not encourage and reward such teacher behavior. Costa in 1984 suggests that in order to enhance thinking about thinking or metacognition, we should get participants to indicate where they are in their thinking and how they got there. That was number 1. Number 2, get them to explore the consequences of their thinking and choices. And number 3, Have them distinguish between what was done that was helpful and hindering, what they liked and didn't like, and what were the pluses and the minuses of the experience. Pre-service and in-service teachers need opportunities to stand back and consider the state of their own knowledge about content, learners' teaching, and strategies they can employ to meet task demands. Thus, teachers would seem to prosper from engagement in metacognitive activities. Some higher order thinking skills. Number 1, problem solving. Then on number 2, there is reflection, followed by reasoning, evaluating. Number 4, number 5, decision making, and number 6, analyzing. Let's dwell on number 1 and number 2 a little bit further in detail. 2 higher order thinking or mental skills that are essential to successful professional practice are problem solving and reflection, concept not necessarily mutually exclusive. These skills are most related to Piaget's stage of formal operations, Pop Robinson and Robinson's complex strategies, and Nicholson's cognitive processes and heuristics. About problem solving, that teachers teach problem solving is evident. Less evident is that they employ it as professionals. Manifestations of teacher reluctance or inability to use problem solving are ubiquitous. The dour faces of pupils removed to the principal's office, the resentment held by teachers toward parents and parent toward teachers, the unsatisfactory grades on pupil progress cards, and the misuse of personal and sickness leave. Essentially, classroom problem solving requires the person motivated to resolve or reduce the severity of the problem, to be able to identify what the problem is, value the goal, and consequently the degree of willingness to strive toward it, regardless of present adverse conditions. Analyze the problem situation, noting the obstacles to the goal. Hypothesize ways by which the goal can be achieved by getting rid of the obstacles, overcoming or circumventing them, or producing imaginative, creative solutions. Predict possible consequences of the hypothesis. Choose the solution or solutions most likely to gain the goal with the fewest possible negative side effects. Implement the solution and evaluate the extent to which the goal has been attained in full or part. Opportunities for real-life problem solving abound. They exist in every school and classroom. A bit about reflection now. Reflection is another kind of thinking. It occurs when something is brought to mind or consciousness so that consideration can be given to it. For example, one could reflect upon classroom problems. Reflection, however, does not occur exclusively in problem situations. A most commonly used definition of reflection was provided by Dewey in How We Think in 1910. Reflection is active, persistent, and careful consideration of any belief or supposed form of knowledge in the light of the grounds that support it and the further conclusion to which it tends. In Experience and Education in 1975, he added, to reflect is to look back over what has been done to extract the net meanings, which are the capital stock for intelligent dealing with future experience. One way meaning can be constructed from experience is by discussing it. Properly directed, discussion calls for higher level thinking and even attitude change. According to Dillon, 1984, discussion is characterized by freedom to express and to accept divergent views. divergent views being expressed, all views being considered, an intention of those involved to improve in some way related to the topic or situation discussed, and use of reason, evidence, and argument. Another way to construct or derive personal meaning from experience is by introspection. In this vein, Valverde, 1982, noted, reflection means asking basic questions of oneself. The basic and comprehensive question during reflection is, what am I doing and why? Reflection is a form of slightly distorted self-evaluation. Distorted in the sense that judgment is emphasized rather than data collection. The individual asks value-laden questions and responds on stored selected data, memory, and then concludes whether he or she is satisfied or dissatisfied. Reflection then is an individual's needs assessment and continued self-monitoring or satisfaction with effectiveness. In either case, whether introspection or discussion is used, certain contextual prerequisites are necessary. There must be an experience worthy of note. Motivation must exist to learn about and from the experience, and a framework has to exist that directs attention to salient features of the event. Finally, provision must be made for transferring what is learned to similar future experiences. For practicing teachers, there are infinite experiences worthy of note, and since teachers generally wish to improve practice, it remains mostly for teachers, educators, and staff developers to provide opportunities wherein attention can be directed to salient features of the events, and teachers urged to use new and rediscovered insights about teaching and learning. For pre-service teachers involved in field experiences, if care is taken, journals or diaries can be used to reflect upon and process their experiences. Frittenberg noted, if practice teachers, in addition to their practice teaching, were directed to observe and discuss and were evaluated on their astuteness in perceiving and analyzing, there would be no question whatever of the value of field experiences. All provide one thing that many of us would agree makes the most difference in teacher improvement: a way of looking at and analyzing teaching. These strategies provide opportunities for teachers to experiment with new practices to see how they work. In short, they encourage teachers to reflect upon their teaching. Flanders agreed that teachers benefit from all such activities. When teachers or college students have a chance to study their own teaching behavior thoughtfully and have access to opportunities for practice and subsequent analysis, the odds are very high that they will change or modify their patterns of teaching behavior. Which brings us to the next question. What are the potential benefits for teachers who engage in higher level thinking, which is categorized in two sectors, personal and professional? So this question was asked of hundreds of participants involved in 30 workshops held in 1983 to 1984 by Phi Delta Kappa chapters. The responses were varied, sometimes of a high inference nature, but always positive. The values that would seem to be gained according to these teachers, supervisors, administrators, and teacher educators are both personal and professional. In the first instance, participants believe that teachers who have good habits of thought would be more sensitive, accepting, and empathic, tolerant and open-minded, flexible, wise, reasoning, resourceful, creative, informed, objective, observant, aware, and self-understanding. In the second instance, which is professional, teachers would be able to produce generalizations about teaching, learning and learners, understand what teaching and learning are about, know why they teach as they do and how they might like to teach, and be more able to analyze and evaluate their own teaching. Thus, according to practitioners, there is every reason to hope that higher level mental activity would result in substantial improvement in classroom life. That indeed use of thought and thinking contributes substantially to understanding learners, classroom events, teaching and learning episodes, and of course, ourselves. So increasingly, teachers are being asked to teach or consider the possibility of formally teaching thinking skills to their pupils. This in spite of the fact that they generally have not been prepared to do so, either by pre-service and in-service education, and that it is not certain thinking can be taught, but only practiced. At the same time, in the rush to improve the thinking and the mental abilities of children, the opportunity and need to improve those same abilities in teachers has been overlooked. As Silberman in 1970 noted, we must find ways of stimulating teachers to think about what they're doing and why they're doing it. Several alternatives are available that intend to raise the level of cognitive thought about teaching. It remains for pre-service and in-service teacher educators to make such a commitment and to provide contexts in which teachers can better learn to use the mind, hence become more competent as practitioners and more rational and human as people. This brings us to the next part of the lecture, which is about critical thinking. It is a self-directed process by which we take deliberate steps to think at the highest level of quality. At this point, I'm going to share with you an article by Neda Mulchi. It was published on December 21st, Lahore, Dawn. So the title of the article is Critical Thinking. The writer is Senior Manager, Professional Development at Oxford University Press, Pakistan. Let's have a look. Just some excerpts where she very well, beautifully describes critical thinking. According to her, critical thinking skills do not spring out of a magician's hat in a dramatic burst of energy. In fact, they are the result of a painstaking process of building and rebuilding with carefully wielded teaching tools in the hands of educators who have learned to develop it as a social culture rather than an activity. It has to be built into the ethos of a school and manifests itself in student interaction with peers and teachers, reflects in the leadership of the organization, and upholds the academic benchmark set by the school. Number 3, critical thinking skills demand a degree of involvement that is born out of an immersive learning experience, focused on communication, and cannot grow like a lone flower in isolation. Towards the end of the article, she says, critical thinking skills fill the gap with the why and how, questions that students must answer for themselves if they are to internalize, construct, and structure their analysis, focusing on the topic at hand. Critical analysis necessitates a room full of perspectives, which implies accepting input from all students, whether right or wrong, logical or bizarre. Out of the chaos of ideas comes a pattern of reasoning that we can help students organize in a logical argument. In critical thinking, the pendulum swings between possibilities. It is a journey from the status quo, focusing on the endeavor to produce a new means and innovative knowledge. The result is a wide array of skills ranging from problem solving and decision making to foresight and creativity. Rightly said so. So, creative thinking is innovative, inventive, unconstrained thinking. It is associated with exploration and idea. It revolves around incubation. It depends on our intelligence. And it also produces ideas. You are brainstorming, and it's a fun way of activity. You're finding solutions, and you are coming up with positive inventions. The critical and creative functions of the mind are so interwoven that neither can be separated from the other without an essential loss to both. Critical thinking is based on discipline, intelligence, memory training, and mathematical intelligence, along with logical reasoning. On the other hand, creative thinking, problem solving, is mainly done, and it enhances creativity. Criticality assesses. What does that mean? Criticality is judging severely, finding fault. Assesses to determine the value, significance, or extent of appraising. On the other hand, creativity originates. So what is creativity? It's a possession of mental qualities required to do something or get something done. Originates, you are bringing into being, taking form or shape. The aim of critical thinking is to promote independent thinking, personal autonomy, meaning liberty, self-rule, and reasoned judgment in thought and action, the ability to reason well, and the disposition to do so. Disposition being your natural mental and emotional outlook or attitude. These are the keys to critical thinking. They are called RED. R for recognizing assumptions, E for evaluating arguments, D for drawing conclusions. Red thinking is higher order executive functioning, thinking that analyzes, assesses, and improves green thinking. And green thinking is instinctive, automatic, spontaneous thinking, unconsciously guided. Let's have a look at this pyramid. What is required and what is happening. On the left side, the bottom of the pyramid in blue is the routine work done by people. On the right hand side in red is routine work done by machines. At the top is the creative work. Now, what is creative work? Creative work could be research and development, designing, marketing and sales, global supply chain management. This all comes under the umbrella of creative work. Here are some questions for you to think about. True or false? Critical thinking is for science and math, and creative thinking is for arts and humanities. Which one is true? Critical and creative thinking can and should be applied to any subject, content, or problem, right or wrong. Creativity is a right brain activity. Creative thinking requires divergent thinking. Divergent, you're thinking out of the box, you're departing from convention. And then convergent thinking. Convergent meaning tending to come together from different directions. Creativity requires constant shifting between right and left brain activity. So yes, creativity can be taught, and it can be taught. Practicing promotes more creative learning. Now, that was about thinking and creative thinking and critical thinking. So what's the role of a teacher in this? Thinking is a skill that young minds will undeniably need and exercise well beyond their school years. Experts agree that in keeping up with the ever-changing technological advances, students will need to obtain, understand, and analyze information on a much more efficient scale. It is our job as educators to equip our students with the strategies and skills they need to think critically in order to cope with these tech problems and obstacles they face elsewhere. Another interesting article, while talking about teachers and their roles in the life of students, Anjum Altaf in Dawn, Lahore, Tuesday, December 22nd, gave us a beautiful example, an inspiring example in this article, which was called Equal Education. The writer is the former dean of the School of Humanities and Social Sciences at Lance. I'll just read two excerpts from the article. The 2020 Global Teacher Prize, sponsored by the Warke Foundation and UNESCO, and worth $1 million, has been awarded to Ranjit Singh Desale, a primary school teacher in a village in Maharashtra, where he teaches girls from tribal communities. There were more than 12,000 contenders from over 140 countries. Two things stand out about the winner. First, Ranjit Singh learnt the local language to translate class textbooks into his pupils' mother tongue. Justice confirms that he is wiser than all our ministers of education and policymakers put together, which makes him deserving of the highest recognition. Very well put. Second, Ranjit Singh belongs to the rare category of those who think beyond themselves. There were 10 teachers on the short list from which he was declared the winner. Ranjit Singh gave away half the $1 million prize to the other 9 on the list because their incredible work is still worthy. If I share the prize money with the rest of the teachers, they will get a chance to continue their work. And we can reach out and lighten the lives of as many students as we can. What a wonderful, inspiring, and noble example. I wish and pray we all can follow this. This brings us to the strategies for teaching critical and creative thinking. Number 1, fluency, thinking of and listing many ideas. Number 2, flexibility, thinking from different perspectives. Number 3, originality, coming up with unique ideas. Number 4, elaboration, building upon an existing idea, adding details. We discussed and talked about the role of a teacher. Now here comes another thing in mind, and while I was thinking about it, what's the role of a library? Is there a role? Yes or no? Should there be? And how can we promote it? So in an article by Zubeda Mustafa. She gives rather very interesting and simple rules to follow. How to make libraries compulsory in our school and colleges and universities. And she says, how can the child learn to think critically if she's not allowed to ask questions? Let parents, ustanis, do this job as they have done for ages, and they will do it better. Another prerequisite of critical thinking is comprehension of what one observes, hears, or reads, which triggers the thought process. If an alien language is thrust on a child without giving her competency in it, nothing will be achieved. An analysis of the S&C for English and Urdu and their textbooks shows that they are immaturely designed for children whose mother tongue is neither English nor Urdu. It is plain that the language conundrum in Pakistan's education system is not about to end soon. Children will continue to be dumbed and the rote learning culture will remain. That will ensure that the bulk of our youth remains the educated but unlearned young men and women that many of them are today. It is in this context that I see a new role for libraries. They can primarily be centers of learning than storehouses of books. The librarians will become teacher activists and organizers of study groups to hold discourse on various issues, which a good education system would encourage in its classrooms, but that seems unlikely in our presently conformist setup. It is food for thought indeed. Teaching critical thinking, which brings us back to the question, what is critical thinking and what are the perspectives about how to teach them, and a bit of a mapping activity. Let's have a look. Critical thinking consists of seeing both sides of an issue, being open to new evidence that disconfirms your ideas, reasoning dispassionately, demanding that claims be backed by evidence, deducing and inferring conclusions from available facts, solving problems, and so forth. Then, too, there are specific types of critical thinking that are characteristic of different subject matter. You think like a scientist, or do you think like a historian? From the cognitive scientist point of view, the mental activities that are typically called critical thinking are actually a subset of three types of thinking: reasoning, making judgments and decisions, and problem solving. We think in these ways all the time, but only sometimes in a critical way. Critical reasoning, decision making, and problem solving have three key features: effectiveness, novelty, and self-direction. Now, here are some questions for your reflection. How did you learn to think critically? How long did it take you to learn to think critically? Was it a single semester? Was it a whole year? Or it lasted as long as your degree? Or any other comes to your mind? What range of activities supported you in developing critical thinking skills and practices over this time span? So, two perspectives which can be applied in critical thinking. One is general skill set, as in general reasoning, logic, and problem solving. The other one is specific skill set for a discipline, as in using specific types of problem solving. Research says both general and specific are key to critical thinking. And for students, learning linked to Bloom's higher order thinking skill, it is more effective to build teaching and learning plans around engagement with specific critical thinking skills. Students need a knowledge base in order to work critically with that knowledge, to engage in critical thinking. In other words, the disciplinary context matters. So now it's time for you to define in your context what traits, skills, behaviors, or qualities demonstrate critical thinking in your course or discipline. Now, this is not asking what assignments or in-class activities you do. Rather, what are the skills or qualities of critical thinking that students will need to engage to meet course learning goals. Now, here is a chart for further springboard. In this chart, there are 3 columns. In the first column, you see critical thinking traits. The second one is what teaching learning activities can be used. The last one is testing for critical thinking. So, number 1, see multiple viewpoints, options, solutions, teaching learning activity which can be used. You can use multiple examples that illustrate variation and juxtaposition. You test students by asking them to generate multiple viewpoints, options, solutions in an assignment. Number 2, the trait, you can evaluate and assess concepts, plans, solutions. And the teaching learning activity, you allow for risk, failure from working through an idea, concept, and solution. And for testing, you offer no or low stakes assignments plus feedback. Allow students to redo an assignment for higher stakes. Lastly, independent and creative thinking is a trait. The teaching learning activity can be inductive teaching rather than deductive teaching by saying, here's the data, what do you see? And you test the students by giving them data or raw material to work with and develop their own solution first. Then students work with theory, etc. So this is for you. You can fill it up as you wish and as you find it fit enough. Some suggestions for teaching learning activities. Writing activities, better when some writing is generative and drafted with students seeking using feedback. Demonstrations, better if students can participate in the demonstration. Problem solving, including partial solutions. Think alouds, where you show your thinking process and have students show their thinking process. Map, diagram a concept, process, theory, solution. As individuals, mapping ongoing learning in groups as part of a jigsaw learning activity. Work with data inductively. You can data set, scenario, case study, or problem-based learning and inquiry learning. You can also embed personal reflections, productive disagreement with a rational or reason, by independent thinking before the lesson, or inductive thinking, work with raw materials. You can create thinking by generating ideas, design thinking, logics, which includes linear, circular, tangential, spiral, etc. And you allow for risk and failure in your assessments. So we're going to recap. Creative thinking. It is the ability to consider something in a new way. Critical thinking skills for teachers. You think this ability is clearly and rationally thinking and to engage in reflective and independent thinking. The last bit, reflective thinking, is awareness of one's own knowledge, assumptions, and past experience. A way of incorporating critical thinking in the classroom. Now, some steps, 8 steps for creative thinking among teachers. Number 1, you become a knowledgeable teacher. Number 2, connect with other teachers. Number 3, become a collector of teaching ideas. Number 4, Share your learning. Number 5, remove the blocks to creative thinking. Number 6, practice your creativity. Number 7, reflecting on your teaching. And 8, make creativity a daily goal. Critical thinking among teachers is the process of actively and skillfully conceptualizing, synthesizing, or evaluating information gathered from or generated by observation. Can thinking be taught? Yes. Nature and nurture, cognitive approach, comparing, inferring, and predicting. Also, discovery and problem solving. This brings us to the last part of our lecture. Reflective thinking among teachers, a way of incorporating critical thinking in the classroom. So, it was found that most of the teachers were not reflective about their teaching practices. They did not seem to practice the 4 learning processes. Assumption analysis is number 1. Number 2 is contextual awareness. Number 3 is imaginative speculation. And number 4 is reflective skepticism. Now, these are indicative of thinking practices that research have found to enhance critical thinking. Students may not be able to think critically because their teachers are not able to think critically themselves. Critical thinking is often equated to higher order thinking skills, analysis, synthesis, and evaluation. It is very difficult for teachers sometimes to incorporate these high levels of learning into their lessons. In order to help with the process of critical thinking, reflective thinking is thought to enhance this process. Reflective thinking is part of the critical thinking process, specifically referring to the processes of analyzing and making judgments about what has happened. It is active, persistent consideration of a belief or suggested form of knowledge of the grounds that support the knowledge, and the further conclusions to which that knowledge leads. Learners who think reflectively become aware of and control their learning by actively assessing what they know, what they need to know, and how they bridge that gap during learning situations. An important role played by reflective thinking is to act as a means to prompt the thinker during complex problem-solving situations, because it provides students an opportunity to step back and think about how they actually solve problems and to use the best set of strategies to achieve their goals. So, therefore, teachers who are able to use reflective practices will themselves be more attuned to using this strategy to help students think critically. It must be noted that reflective thinking will facilitate critical thinking and is a practice that must be encouraged among students. Critical thinking does not happen as a result of reflective thinking. Now, according to Boody, 2008, teacher reflection can generally be characterized as retrospection, problem solving, critical analysis, and putting thoughts into action. So now we're going to discuss reflective thinking based on these characteristics suggested by Boody. A, teacher reflection as a retrospective analysis, ability to self-assess. Now, this approach takes reflection as bending thoughts to incorporate prior experiences and how these experiences could influence the current practices of teacher. And the ability to self-assess, which is based on a model of development in reflective thinking by Hamilton in 2005. Second one is teacher reflection as a problem-solving process, awareness of how one learns. Teacher reflection is reflection in action and reflection on action. So many teachers fail to connect between their teaching and what they're actually practicing, and vice versa. Now, these teachers can often teach the facts of a subject well, but will often not be able to make a bridge for students between what they learn and how it is used in practice. 3. Critical reflection of self-developing continuous self-improvement. Now, in order for a teacher to be critically reflective, there are 4 learning processes that can be engaged: assumption analysis, contextual awareness, imaginative speculation, and reflective skepticism. So in summary, critical reflection can also be thought of as the process of analyzing, reconsidering, and questioning experiences within a broad context of issues like ethical practices, learning theories, and use of technologies. Lastly, reflection on beliefs about the self. According to Troy and O in 2007, the feelings and beliefs that teachers have toward themselves and others will play a part in how they teach. Teachers are highly influenced by their beliefs, which are closely linked to their values and their worldviews. These beliefs have great influence in the way they plan their lessons and deliver them. That brings us to the present study, and in this study, there were 2 questions given to teachers, and I'm going to share very briefly the results of that study and the answers to those questions. So question number 1, the research question number 1 is, are teachers practicing reflective teaching? Let's have a look at the results. About 20% of responses seem to be very concerned with their own area of discipline and at the same time also wanted to provide continued improvement in their teaching their lessons. These teachers seem to be concerned about following orders so as not to get into trouble. So we are talking about number 1, which was ability to self-assess, observing own performance. For number 2, using feedback and evidence. 15% felt they were being judged by their students. Another 15% perceived the students' feedback was important as it helped them understand their students better. However, it is interesting to note that very few perceived that they did not feel like students' feedback helped them to identify their strengths and weaknesses and thus need not be taken seriously. 3. Finding and analyzing patterns. About 20% of the responses seem to view that a lesson's quality would be determined by the content and context of a lesson. The teachers were not of the opinion that what they did during their lesson was an important indicator of their effectiveness, and they did not seem to view that how they taught in the classroom was affected by their life experiences. This would imply that they held their life experiences as separate from their work of teaching students. Number 4, making judgments. About 20% of the teachers seemed to perceive that they were helpless over making mistakes and they were not able to do anything about it. And many did not agree that they could learn from their mistakes and move forward. Number 5, awareness of how one learns, concepts and misconceptions. So 19% of the responses did not seem too concerned about students' feedback as long as they felt they were doing their jobs. 14% seemed open to learn from past experiences and were willing to use it to help improve their lessons in future. 13% seem to perceive student feedback as important in helping them enhance their lessons. Lastly, knowledge construction. There were 19% of responses who perceived by they needed guidance from a supervisor to help point out problems they were having in their lessons. 16% of them seemed to understand that students learn differently and they needed to look into new strategies to deliver their lessons. It is interesting to note that only 2% did not perceive themselves as only wanting to get the job done. Last one, metacognition. About 10% of the responses seemed to be open to reflecting on what they had done in their lessons and exploring strategies to help them teach better. 8% also seemed to be open to using self-discovery to help them hone their skills while teaching. So generally, based on these results, it would seem the teachers were using reflective thinking to help them enhance their teaching, but many were thinking in terms of personal performance and expectations rather than using it as a tool for personal growth. They did not seem open to the idea of using feedback from students, which is part of the assessment criteria based on a model developed by Hamilton, to develop reflective thinking practices for teachers. That brings us to research question number 2. How do teachers think of themselves and their teaching practices? Let's have a look at the results. As far as developing lifelong learning skills, developing identity as a learner, 12% were of the opinion that they were still learning to be better teachers and were open to feedback from supervisors and students. Only 6% were of the opinion that they had an established set of practices that they were comfortable with and they were open to feedback from their students and supervisors to help them improve their practices. 2. Transferring learning to other contexts. 14% of the teachers seem to be aware that they made assumptions about many things and they should take the feedback from others in perspective and learn from the feedback they were given. 10% of the teachers were of the opinion that they were doing well because the overall comments from students were positive. 3. Understands learning as a lifelong process. About 20% did not seem to spend time on reflecting their practices as a teacher. Only 5% were aware that their actions will have an influence on how their students responded to them in their classes and realized that reflection of their practices were important. Number 4, influence of belief about self. Developing a personal belief system. 16% of the teachers believed that they need to take care of their own needs before they could take care of others. 9% of the teachers were aware that their beliefs would influence their own behavior toward others. Overall, I would say the teachers seem to be interested in developing themselves to be better at teaching. However, they do not seem to be open to using reflection as a tool to help them achieve this goal. They were satisfied with getting good comments from students on their teaching. They were of the opinion that they were competent in what they were doing and did not see a need to spend time on reflection. These results showed that a majority of the teachers were on the whole not critically reflective, as their responses did not show that they practiced any of the 4 learning processes, which are assumption analysis, contextual awareness, imaginative speculation, and reflective skepticism, which, according to the Brookfield, were indicative of such practices. They were more interested in how they were assessed by their students and superiors. The results showed ambiguity about their feelings toward feedback from students. They perceived that feedback from students were important, but similarly, they also perceived that the feedback need not be taken seriously as they were just opinion of others. This brings us to the end of our lecture, and I would like to end it before we start the question and answer session by some very famous quotes, which are very appropriate at this time. Einstein said, and I quote, "Imagination is more important than knowledge." Imagination is the highest freedom of all, and the one that no one can deprive us of. For knowledge is limited, whereas imagination embraces the entire world, stimulating progress, giving birth to evolution. Thomas Carlyle said, "Go as far as you can see. When you get there, you can see farther." Ginny Rometty, "I learned to always take on things I'd never done before. Growth and comfort do not coexist." Any questions Ji, regarding the lecture? Any further explanations required? जी हाँ जी बताइए, बोलिए.
जी ये एक पॉइंट था ना आपका, अंडरस्टैंड लर्निंग एज अ लाइफ लॉन्ग प्रोसेस, इससे
जी.
थोड़ा सा कुछ मुझे वजाहत अगर कर दें तो.
देखिए जी, लर्निंग लाइफ लॉन्ग प्रोसेस इस तरह से है कि एवरी डे इज अ न्यू डे. जब हम टीचर्स जो हैं या हम एजुकेटर्स रोज़ाना एक क्लास में जाते हैं और नई जनरेशन के साथ हमारा इंटरेक्शन होता है, तो एवरी डे इज़ अ न्यू डे. स्टूडेंट्स कोई ऐसे सवाल करते हैं जिससे हमें भी बहुत ज़्यादा सोच विचार करने में मदद मिलती है और हम सोचने पे मजबूर हो जाते हैं. एक हमारे सेट पर्सपेक्टिव्स होते हैं चीज़ों के बारे में, और रोज के रोज हमें कोई ना कोई ऐसा सवाल, कोई ना कोई ऐसी प्रॉब्लम सामने आती है जो एक नए तरीके से एक नया पर्सपेक्टिव निकालती है. और लाइफ लॉन्ग लर्निंग प्रोसेस, अगर हम सोचना चाहें, अगर हम उससे कुछ सीखना चाहें, तो डेफिनेटली लाइफ इज अ लाइफ लॉन्ग लर्निंग प्रोसेस. उसके अलावा एक और बात कि हम जो अपने आप को, अभी आप सब इस ट्रेनिंग में हैं, तो आप भी तो सीख रहे हैं ना अभी तक. It is never ending. There's always room for improvement. तो हम अपने अंदर इन्वेस्ट कर रहे हैं टाइम का, एफर्ट का, एनर्जी का, टू नो कि करंट डेवलपमेंट्स क्या हैं, दुनिया में क्या हो रहा है, हम क्या कर रहे हैं, हम उसको कैसे इम्प्रूव कर सकते हैं. तो all these things are lifelong learning processes.
जी बहुत शुक्रिया जी. ठीक है.
Thank you. Thank you. हाँ जी, anybody else?
Ma'am, can you please explain metacognition?
Metacognition, हाँ जी, definitely, why not? Metacognition जी basically हमारी अपनी understanding है about different concepts. Let me go back. मेटाकॉग्निशन में ये होता है कि हम रिकग्नाइज करते हैं, हम अपने लेसन्स में जैसे हमने क्या पढ़ाया हम उस पर रिफ्लेक्ट करते हैं, और स्ट्रेटजीज क्या थी मेटाकॉग्निशन में, और उसमें हमें क्या सेल्फ डिस्कवरी हमें मिली कि हम अपनी टीचिंग स्किल्स को ज़्यादा बेहतर बना सकें. तो दैट इज़ इट्स अ होल प्रोसेस ऑफ, समझिए कि हम एक तो अप्लाई कर रहे हैं, एक लेसन कोई टीच करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं, उसमें हिट्स और मिसेस क्या गई हैं, स्टूडेंट्स किस हद तक समझ पाए हैं उस कॉन्सेप्ट को, नहीं समझ पाए हैं. सो व्हेन वी रिफ्लेक्ट ऑन दैट, सो मेटाकॉग्निशन जो है वो उसी की एक स्टेज है वेयर वी काइंड ऑफ you know on a very higher level try to understand what's happening in the classroom, especially regarding our teaching methods, teaching strategies, everything.
So it's a kind of assessing or evaluation of our own self.
जी बिल्कुल, इसमें सारी चीजें आ जाती हैं, बिकॉज हमारी इवेल्युएशन अगर हम सोच ही नहीं पा रहे हैं कि हम जैसे आए हैं, हमने लेक्चर दिया और लेक्चर दे के हमने सोचा हमने तो अपना काम कर दिया है, बट अगर वो कॉम्प्रिहेंड ही नहीं किया बच्चों ने, या हम अपना पॉइंट ही थ्रू नहीं कर सके, and if there weren't any questions or curiosity उनकी rise ही नहीं हुई है, so then you must be thinking कि what am I doing right, what am I doing wrong, and how can I make it better, ताकि उनको सोचने पे मजबूर किया जाए.
Okay, ma'am. Now I got it. Thank you so much.
Sure जी, sure. Thank you very much. हाँ जी, any other question जी? जी, anyone? Hello?
If no one is asking, can I ask again?
हाँ हाँ जी, sure, absolutely जी. My pleasure. जी बताइए.
Okay, ma'am. Can you tell me or describe some of the activities that arise brainstorming or critical thinking among the students, especially when we are teaching literature, when we are teaching to master classes or adult students? So what are different activities that we can conduct in our classrooms?
थैंक यू फॉर योर क्वेश्चन जी, बड़ा अच्छा सवाल आपने किया है. देखिए, डिपेंड करता है कि पहली बात कि आपके स्टूडेंट्स का, जैसे आप कह रही हैं कि यूनिवर्सिटी लेवल है, कॉलेज लेवल है, राइट? तो उस लेवल पे तो काफ़ी मैच्योरिटी और इंटेलिजेंस डेवलप हो गई होती है बच्चों की, और आप उनके साथ काफ़ी क्रिटिकल एनालिसिस कर सकते हैं डिफरेंट चीज़ों से. मैं कॉलेज यूनिवर्सिटी में जब पढ़ा रही थी तो मैंने एक रोज की एक्टिविटी रख ली थी बिफोर के लेसन शुरू करने से पहले या लेक्चर शुरू करने से पहले. तो एक रोज के 10 मिनट्स जो होते थे वो वार्म अप होते थे, और वो इस तरीके से थे कि ना मैं कोई ना कोई कोटेशन लिखती थी व्हाइट बोर्ड पे, एंड आई वुड से कि भी मुझे आप इसका मतलब बताएं. तो वो कोटेशन जो थी वो, अब देखिए हम दुनिया में हैं, तो दुनिया में डिफरेंट कल्चर्स हैं, लैंग्वेजेस हैं. अब हर लैंग्वेज, हर कंट्री, हर कल्चर, सोसाइटी की अपनी अपनी बड़ी ही जबरदस्त कोटेशंस होती हैं, प्रोवर्ब्स होते हैं. तो मेरे पास 4-5 किताबें मैंने इकट्ठी की हुई हैं जिसमें चाइनीज और अरबिक और पर्शियन, और कहावतें इस तरह की. तो वो मैं एक आध रोज जाके लिख देती थी, और वो हमारे जो फर्स्ट 10 मिनट्स होते थे वो एक वार्म अप एक्टिविटी के अलावा बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग डिस्कशन शुरू हो जाती थी कि बच्चों की मुझे सोच समझ का थोड़ा सा पता लगता था कि वो क्या सोच रहे हैं और किस तरीके से उसको एड्रेस कर रहे हैं, कोटेशन को एक्सप्लेन कर रहे हैं. और उसके साथ साथ कई दफा दे वुड कम अप विद अ वेरी वेरी गुड डिफरेंट पर्सपेक्टिव, जो कि यूजुअल प्रोवर्ब का मतलब होता था. और इस तरह उनकी क्रिटिकल एबिलिटी जो है वो मैं एनहांस करने की कोशिश करती थी. तो डिफरेंट तरीके हो सकते हैं जी, आप बहुत क्रिएटिव हो सकते हैं. अगर आप लिटरेचर की क्लास में लेट्स से कोई प्ले करा रही हैं, कोई शेक्सपियर पढ़ा रही हैं, कोई भी प्ले है, इट डजंट मैटर, एनीथिंग.
एडिपस रेक्स पढ़ा रहे हैं हम आजकल, सोफोक्लीज, एडिपस रेक्स.
अच्छा, तो जैसे मैं करा रही थी शेक्सपियर का प्ले रोमियो एंड जूलियट, तो मैंने क्या किया कि वो सारी क्लास में वो कैरेक्टर्स जो थे वो सारी क्लास को डिवाइस कर दिए कि ये रोमियो है, ये जूलियट है, ये उसके फ्रेंड्स हैं, तो सबको एक एक नाम दे दिया. तो हम हर एक्ट को इस तरह रोज पढ़ते थे. तो वो एक निहायत इंटरैक्टिव एक्टिविटी हो गई, और प्ले का प्ले पढ़ा भी गया और बड़ी इंटरेस्टिंगली हंसी मजाक भी रहा, और बहुत बच्चों ने एंजॉय किया. और फिर उनको उस सारी हिस्टोरिकल या जियोग्राफिकल सिग्निफिकेंस प्ले की जो थी वो उन्हें समझने में भी बड़ी मदद आई, और हर कैरेक्टर को उन्होंने अपने अपने तौर पे बहुत अच्छे तरीके से समझा, पढ़ा, और उसकी डायलॉग डिलीवरी की और मेरे से सवाल भी बड़े किए. So you know it became like an interactive sort of thing.
Yes, definitely it is a very good एक टेक्निक है या जिसे हम अप्लाई कर सकते हैं क्लास में.
हाँ जी.
और मैम जैसे कि आप भी लिटरेचर से वाबस्ता है और मैं भी इंग्लिश पढ़ाती हूँ, तो आई वांट टू लर्न मोर टेक्निक्स कि हम बेसिकली जब लैंग्वेज पढ़ाते हैं तो लिटरेचर और लैंग्वेज को टीच करने में थोड़ा सा फर्क होता है. जब छोटे बच्चों को पढ़ाते हैं तो उनको किस तरह से ग्रामेटिकल रूल्स और ये चीजें जो हैं ज्यादा मतलब अच्छे तरीके से करवा सकते हैं. कोई छोटी सी टिप्स जो आमतौर पे
देखिए
आप यूज करें.
ग्रामर की अब आप बात कर रही हैं, तो ग्रामर जो है ना वो सबसे ज्यादा टफ बच्चों को लगता है, बिकॉज वो बड़ा ड्राई सब्जेक्ट है. पहली बात तो ये है कि वो हमारी जुबान नहीं है, तो सेकंड लैंग्वेज होते हुए हम बहुत अच्छा बोलते हैं, समझते हैं, पढ़ते हैं, बट एट द सेम टाइम उसको जो टीच करना है वो इट इज अ वेरी ड्राई सब्जेक्ट. उसको मैं करने के लिए मैं आपको हाईली रिकमेंड करूंगी बेटी आजर, BETTY, बेटी आजर. मैं मेरे ख्याल में चैट में भी लिख दूं.
यस मैम.
अच्छा, ये इसकी बुक्स हैं जी. फंडामेंटल ग्रामर, मेरा ख्याल है बेसिक एंड इंटरमीडिएट एंड एडवांस स्टूडेंट्स के लिए. और इसकी एक और भी किताब है जो है फन विद ग्रामर. तो इसकी वेबसाइट भी है, आप इसको गूगल कीजिए, और वेबसाइट पे प्रिंटेबल मटेरियल आपको बहुत मिलेगा. बहुत फन एक्टिविटीज हैं जी उसमें ग्रामर सिखाने के लिए, और पावर पॉइंट्स भी मिलेंगे. सो दैट बिकम्स रियली रियली फैबुलस इन टीचिंग ग्रामर. अब मिसाल के तौर पे जैसे हमने फ्रेजल वर्ब्स कराने हैं, अब फ्रेजल वर्ब्स आप जितना मर्जी उसको समझाने की कोशिश करें, लेकिन इसमें एक बड़ी अच्छी एक्टिविटी थी, बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग. वो एक गाना था और वो उस गाने को उन्होंने फ्रेजल वर्ब्स उसके निकाले, और वो पूरा आपको प्रॉपर उसमें ना ये वेबसाइट पे ही सारा कुछ मिल जाएगा आपको बेटी आजर के, और वो इंस्ट्रक्शंस हैं प्रॉपर. आई मीन इट्स वेरी सिंपल टू फॉलो, एंड देन you know do those grammar exercises. वो बच्चों के लिए मेमोराइज करने के लिए हर लिहाज से वो बड़ी इंटरेस्टिंग होती हैं, और वो याद भी रखते हैं, और फिर आप भी इंजॉय करते हैं और वो भी करते हैं. सो यू नो इट्स लर्निंग इज अ फन थिंग. वन कैन मेक इट वेरी वेरी interesting by creating these fun activities.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, another question, but if someone else is asking, want to ask.
नहीं, अगर कोई होगा तो बता देंगे. आप बोलिए बोलिए बताइए.
मैम आपने सेकंड लैंग्वेज की बात की है, तो हम सब लोग भी, बल्कि मैं खुद भी, आप भी, हम सब कोड मिक्सिंग बहुत करते हैं.
क्या करते हैं?
कोड मिक्सिंग जब हम करते हैं, व्हेन यू यूज वर्ड्स फ्रॉम डिफरेंट लैंग्वेजेस, कोड मिक्सिंग करते हैं. तो कोड मिक्सिंग के हवाले से क्या काम हो रहा है? इज इट कोड मिक्सिंग इज अ गुड थिंग और बैड, और ऐसा होना चाहिए कि एट अ टाइम हमें एक लैंग्वेज बोलनी चाहिए?
आप ये ब्रेकिंग आप आई कांट हियर यू क्लियरली. तो आपका सवाल है कि हम डिफरेंट लैंग्वेजेस के फ्रेजेस और वर्ड्स यूज करते हैं.
यस मैम. मैम कोड मिक्सिंग क्या पूछ रही थी कि इज इट कोड मिक्सिंग इज अ गुड थिंग, और ये इस पे क्वेश्चन अराइज होता है ना कि हम हर लैंग्वेजेस को करप्ट कर देते हैं. कोई भी लैंग्वेज प्योरली नहीं बोलते, चाहे वो उर्दू हो या इंग्लिश हो, स्पेशली हमारी में. तो क्या इज इट अ गुड थिंग और गुड फिनोमेना, और क्या ऐसा होना चाहिए या नहीं?
बात ये है कि देखिए, पहले तो कुछ थोड़ा सा ना हम अपनी लैंग्वेज की हिस्ट्री जाने. उर्दू जो है इज अ मिक्सचर ऑफ पर्शियन एंड अरबिक, राइट?
यस मैम.
तो ऑलरेडी हमारी जुबान में इन दो चीजों का मिक्स है. और जैसे अरबी में किताब है, फारसी में किताब है, तो उर्दू भी किताब. कुर्सी है तो कुर्सी. सो ऑलरेडी द वर्ड्स, द टर्मिनोलॉजी एग्जिस्ट इन आवर लैंग्वेज. इवन सो कि उर्दू में बहुत से जो अल्फाज हैं वो अंग्रेजी से भी लिए गए हैं, राइट? अब जहां तक सवाल पैदा होता है कि हम प्योरली उर्दू नहीं बोलते या प्योरली इंग्लिश नहीं बोलते या फारसी या अरबी, तो हमारा जो एक्सप्रेशन है ऑफ एक्सप्रेसिंग आवरसेल्व्स, जो हमारे हम इवन जो सोच विचार में भी, अब हमारे हर जुमले में कोई ना कोई अंग्रेजी का लफ्ज होता है।
यस मैम, ऐसे ही है।
कोशिश करें ना करें, somehow हमारी जो इस तरह अपब्रिंगिंग हुई है या हमें लिखाया पढ़ाया गया है, और देखें हम में से काफ़ी इंक्लूडिंग माई सेल्फ, मैं उर्दू मीडियम स्कूल में भी पढ़ी हुई हूँ, मैं अंग्रेजी मीडियम स्कूल में भी पढ़ी हुई हूँ, तो आई कैन वेल रिलेट टू दिस प्रॉब्लम कि हम, क्योंकि वो इतना ज़्यादा छोटी उम्र से हमें इंट्रोड्यूस कर दिया गया है लैंग्वेजेस के साथ कि फॉर अस इट हैज बिकम वेरी नेचुरल कि हम अपने आप को सोच में भी और एक्सप्रेस करने में भी, वर्बली भी हम मिक्स करते हैं अंग्रेजी को, उर्दू को, पंजाबी को, जो भी हो। तो उसको अब हम हेल्प नहीं कर सकते, ये हमारे ब्रेन में जो एक्टिविटी है इसके सीड अब डल चुके हैं। तो we just can enjoy it, but yes, I enjoy like reading Urdu, I reading like Punjabi किताबें, अखबार, तो प्योरली सो अब और आप देखते जाइए कि उर्दू का जो जी
लास्ट है कि जो न्यू जनरेशन स्पेशली आवर किड्स, so is it better to teach them English कि हम उनको शुरू से इंग्लिश पढ़ाएं या उनको लोकल लैंग्वेजेस भी हम सिखा सकते हैं? मल्टीलिंगुअलिज्म की तरफ आ रही हूँ मैं।
ये तो बात आपकी ठीक है। देखिए ये वाला सवाल जो है वो मैं अपने आप से अक्सर करती हूँ। मेरे ग्रैंड चिल्ड्रन हैं जी, वो सारे अंग्रेजी बोलते हैं और मुझे वो बड़ी हंसी भी आती है, फिर मुझे कई दफा बड़ा रिडिकुलस भी लगता है कि यार ये मैं उर्दू में बोल रही होती हूँ, मुझे अंग्रेजी में जवाब दे रहे होते हैं। तो अब मुझे ये, मैं एक बड़े इसके बारे में मैंने आर्टिकल्स भी बड़े पढ़े कि भाई अगर जैसे हम हैं, जब हम लेट्स से 50 years back when we were growing up, हमारे घर में मेरे वालिदैन आपस में उर्दू और पंजाबी में बात करते थे और अंग्रेजी स्कूल में हम जाते थे, तो वो दोनों को हमने दोनों लैंग्वेजेस को एक्वायर कर लिया नेचुरली। और वो इसी तरह अब जो बच्चे हैं वो टोटली अंग्रेजी की तरफ चले गए हैं और पेरेंट्स भी उनके साथ अंग्रेजी ही बोलते हैं। मेरे घर में मेरे बच्चे जो हैं और उनके आगे से बच्चे, तो वो बस सलाम का जवाब देते हैं, उसके बाद सब अंग्रेजी होती है। तो मैं सोचती हूँ कि पता नहीं उर्दू अब कब आएगी, इनको आएगी भी कि नहीं आएगी या फिर सीखेंगे। तो स्कूल जो हैं तो वो अब आपके सामने है कि वो काफी गुलाबी उर्दू किस्म की सिखा रहे हैं। तो ये भी एक इंटरेस्टिंग फिनोमेना हम एक्सपीरियंस कर रहे हैं। मैं क्या इसके बारे में और कितनी रोशनी डालूं। ऑल्दो आई वेरी मच लाइक द फैक्ट कि भाई हमारी अपनी मादरी जुबान है और निहायत खूबसूरत जुबान है, तो जितना हो सके उसको सिखाया जाए, बोला जाए, पढ़ा जाए।
इसी तरह बहुत सी हमारी लोकल लैंग्वेजेस हैं जो इंडेंजर्ड हो चुकी हैं, जो अब एक्सटिंक्ट होने को है कि नेक्स्ट फ्यू जनरेशंस में वो नहीं होंगी, वो यूज नहीं होंगी। मैम देयर आर लॉट्स ऑफ थिंग्स बट आई थिंक टाइम इज शॉर्ट नाउ। और आपसे बात
अगर कोई हो सवाल तो जरूर आई विल बी मोर देन हैप्पी टू आंसर। जी बोलिए आप। लास्ट सेशन है मेरा ख्याल है आज के दिन का।
बिल्कुल, आई थिंक देयर आर 2 minutes आर लेफ्ट, तो 4 o'clock ये वैसे भी सेशन एंड हो जाएगा। आई आस्क अदर पार्टिसिपेंट्स इफ दे वांट टू आस्क समथिंग दे कैन आस्क।
नहीं, कोई अभी कोई बता तो नहीं रहा, बस मेरा ख्याल है आप ही हैं और मैं हूँ। सब सुन रहे हैं शायद।
जी
अस्सलाम वालेकुम।
जी अस्सलाम वालेकुम। जी
मैं भी सुन रही हूँ, मेरे ख्याल और भी बहुत सारे लोग होंगे। आप दोनों के सवाल जवाब से भी बहुत मालूमात मिली। वैसे भी सेशन बहुत अच्छा था और फराह ने जितने सवाल किए उनसे भी हमने बहुत फायदा उठाया। और मैं सिर्फ ये कहना चाहूंगी कि जैसे आपने एक आर्टिकल का हवाला दिया कि वो विनर को जो प्राइज मिला कि उसने जो मकामी जबान थी उसमें उसने ट्रांसलेट किया। तो और दूसरा एक बात ये हुई कि लाइब्रेरी का ज्यादा इस्तेमाल होना चाहिए।
हाँ जी।
तो जब इसके लिए जरूरत तो है कि अगर मकामी जबान में आपने कुछ भी ट्रांसलेट करना है तो पहले दूसरी जबानों पर अबूर हासिल करने वाले लोग होंगे, तभी ट्रांसलेट करेंगे।
हाँ, सही
मैं यही
बात।
कहना चाहती हूँ, मतलब ये दोनों चीजें साथ साथ चलने की ही जरूरत है।
हाँ जी, बिल्कुल, बेशक। ऑब्वियसली जस्ट बिकॉज हम उर्दू स्पीकर्स हैं, दैट डजंट मेक अस और क्वालिफाई अस इन एनी वे दैट वी कैन टीच उर्दू, राइट? तो ये वो वाली बात है कि अभी आजकल मैं बड़ी सीरियसली सोच रही थी कि पता नहीं अब आप लोग अवेयर हैं कि नहीं, बहुत बहुत साल पहले मकबूल जहांगीर ने बच्चों के लिए एब्रिज वर्जन लिखा था, अमीर हमजा की दास्तान के नाम से।
अच्छा।
और उसमें वो जो अमीर हमजा की दास्तान थी वो फारसी में लिखी गई थी, आज से पता नहीं कितने 100 साल पहले, और उसकी बड़ी इंग्लिश ट्रांसलेशंस हो चुकी हैं जो डिफिकल्ट वर्जन की, राइट? लेकिन मकबूल जहांगीर ने उसको आसान उर्दू में, इतनी आसान उर्दू में लिखा था कि आई वॉज इन क्लास 3 प्रोबेबली एंड आई कुड रीड इट, और तब से वो मेरी बड़ी फेवरेट है। अभी ये अब हैरी पॉटर आई, जिससे आप सब अवेयर होंगे, उसकी किताबें आई, उसकी मूवीज आई, तो आप सबकी इंफॉर्मेशन के लिए दिस हैरी पॉटर थिंग इज ऑन द लाइंस ऑफ दोज अमीर हमजा की दास्तान की कहानियां जो हम आज से 50 साल पहले पढ़ चुके हुए।
जी बिल्कुल।
और मैं आजकल उसको ट्रांसलेट करने का सोच रही हूँ कि मैं उनसे बात करूँ कि ये बच्चों के लिए मैं इंट्रोड्यूस कराना चाहती हूँ कि व्हाट बिफोर इवन हैरी पॉटर केम टू लाइफ, we already had those figures and hero figures, और वो इनविजिबिलिटी क्लोक या उड़ने वाला कालीन, और ये हमारी अल्फ लैलवी दास्तानों में हम सब ने पढ़ा हुआ है बचपन में।
जी बिल्कुल।
तो हमारा बड़ा कल्चर रिच है, सोसाइटी रिच है, हमारी
मातृ, मम्मी और इंटरनेशनल तीनों जुबानों को ही बच्चों को तीनों की तरफ तवज्जो देनी चाहिए, ताकि जो हमारी मादरी जुबानें हैं वो भी खत्म ना हो, और कौमी जुबान तो सीखनी चाहिए। और इंटरनेशनल सीखे बगैर आप अपना पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू दूसरों को कैसे सिखाएंगे?
हाँ, बिल्कुल सही बात है, बिल्कुल सही बात है, ऐसे ही है जी।
बहुत शुक्रिया मैम, बहुत शुक्रिया।
थैंक यू वेरी मच, थैंक यू एवरीवन। जी किसी का हाथ मुझे नजर आ रहा है, कोई बात कि हम एंड कर दें सेशन को? जी हेलो।
Excuse me, ma'am, I want to say something.
जी 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 जी, सुन रही हूँ।
मैम आपने बहुत अच्छा हमें आज बताया क्रिटिकल थिंकिंग के बारे में, और इसकी जैसे अभी मिस उज़मा ने भी कहा था कि लाइब्रेरी का रोल, और फिर ये भी कि आपका ये बड़ा अच्छा इनिशिएटिव होगा अगर आप हैरी पॉटर को ट्रांसलेट करेंगे, और इसमें भी कोई दो राय नहीं है कि हमारी जो पुरानी दास्तानें हैं वो बहुत वैल्यूएबल हैं, उनके जो कैरेक्टर्स और उनके अंदर जो कहानियाँ और जो वैरायटी है। अब हमें वो अंग्रेजी जो कहानियां जो अब फिक्शंस आ रही हैं उसके अंदर हमें वो नजर आती हैं, लेकिन ये सब चीजें तो एक तरफ, हमें सबसे पहले तो मेरा ख्याल है कि हमारी सोसाइटी में, हमारे इर्द गिर्द, अब हमारे मुल्क में बुक रीडिंग जो है, बुक लवर्स खत्म हो गए। हम ट्रांसलेट भी कर लें, हम कुछ भी कर लें, हमारे बच्चे, हमारे इर्द गिर्द के लोग जो हैं अब वो किताब से दूर होते जा रहे हैं। तो इसके लिए भी कुछ ना कुछ होना चाहिए कि स्टूडेंट्स को, हमें कॉलेजेस में और स्कूल्स में तो होता होगा, प्राइवेट स्कूल्स में, कॉलेजेस में भी ऐसी हम असाइनमेंट्स दें बच्चों को जिसमें वो कोई ना कोई बुक रीड करें, और फिर वो उसका एक कंक्लूजन निकाल के और एक क्रिटिकल उसका छोटा सा एक एनालिसिस जो है वो टीचर्स को दें। शायद कुछ ऐसी एक्टिविटीज हों, इस फोरम के थ्रू दूसरे टीचर्स भी सुन रहे हैं, हम इसको प्रमोट करें कि बच्चे जो हैं वो किताब पढ़ें, ताकि वो भी, इससे भी क्रिटिकल थिंकिंग आती है, इम्प्रूव होती
ये
है।
आती ही इसी से है। ये देखिए, बिल्कुल आप सही कह रही हैं, बिल्कुल आपकी बात सही है, आई टोटली एग्री विद यू। जैसे कि पर्सनली स्पीकिंग, मैं बचपन से मुझे बुक रीडिंग का शौक था, और वो देखिए, वी हैव टू लीड बाय एग्जाम्पल। ये बड़ा जरूरी है। हम चीजें तो कहते हैं लेकिन जब तक हम खुद एज एन एग्जाम्पल नहीं होंगे अपनी नेक्स्ट जनरेशन के लिए तो वो डिफिकल्ट हो जाता है किसी के लिए भी फॉलो करना। तो सिंस माई चिल्ड्रन सॉ मी रीडिंग दे डेवलप दैट थिंग इन देमसेल्व्स। उसके अलावा मैंने जब कोई 8 साल पहले मैं दुबई से जब पाकिस्तान मूव की तो मैंने अपना एक बुक क्लब शुरू किया और वो बुक क्लब हर हफ्ते मिलता है। अब हम 6 हैं, 7 हैं, 20 हैं, 25 हैं, बहुत लोग इजहार करते हैं कि जी हमने ज्वाइन करना है, वो करते हैं और हम हर हफ्ते मिलते हैं। हम एक किताब लेते हैं जो एक कभी महीना लग जाता है, 3-4 हफ्ते, और अब मैं चैप्टर्स डिवाइज कर देती हूँ कि हाँ जी अब आप 10 चैप्टर पढ़कर आइए या 100 सफ़े पढ़कर आइए। तो फिर हमने हर हफ्ते वो डिस्कस करना होता है। तो ये अब मैं चला रही हूँ बुक क्लब, जस्ट ये समझिए कि इट्स जस्ट माय पैशन ऑफ रीडिंग एंड विच यू नो, और लाइक माइंडेड लोग मिल जाते हैं, दोस्त होते हैं, फिर उनके आगे से दोस्त होते हैं। इस तरह कोई हमारा 23 का ग्रुप है। अब जहां तक बात है क्लास की, कॉलेजेस की, इंस्टीट्यूट्स की, बिल्कुल आप शॉर्ट स्टोरी से शुरू कीजिए। एक शॉर्ट स्टोरी हर हफ्ते इंट्रोड्यूस कर दी जाए कि भाई इसके बारे में क्वेश्चनर होगा या कॉम्प्रिहेंशन होगी या डिस्कशन होगी। यू नो चिल्ड्रन लाइक टू डिस्कस मोर, सो वो एक फन एक्टिविटी रखी है उसको, और उसके बारे में बात करने के लिए और कैरेक्टर्स के बारे में सवाल करने के लिए। तो हर हफ्ते आप एक शॉर्ट स्टोरी से शुरू कीजिए और फिर आहिस्ता आहिस्ता उनको किताबों की तरफ लाएं। दैट कुड बी डन।
जी, मैं तो खुद बहुत परेशान हूँ। एक लम्हा फिक्रिया है आजकल ये सोशल मीडिया पे एक मिसरे के तौर पे ये लिखा जा रहा है कि ये आखिरी सदी है किताबों से इश्क की। तो
नहीं
इतना ऐसा हो, हमें इसको यानी खत्म करना है इस तस्वुर।
हाँ, नहीं वो किताबें कहीं नहीं जा सकती। जो किताबों की अहमियत है वो रहेगी, लाइब्रेरीज की अहमियत रहेगी, सोशल मीडिया अपनी जगह, बट वो एक एज ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन से हम गुजर रहे हैं। वो इंफॉर्मेशन है, वो नॉलेज नहीं है। तो जो क्लासिक्स पढ़कर देखें, जैसे आपको अगर लिखने की चाह है तो यू विल रीड क्लासिक्स, राइट? तो क्या आपको पता चले कि लैंग्वेज का क्या लेवल है या किस तरह चीजें लिखी जाती हैं। तो अनलेस आप यू रीड वेल, यू वोंट बी एबल टू राइट वेल और स्पीक वेल।
मैम दैट इज द रीजन कि अब बच्चों के पास वोकेबलरी नहीं है।
हाँ
और
जी।
कॉलेजेस में भी, स्कूल्स में भी अब लाइब्रेरी की तरफ उनको मुतवज्जो नहीं किया जाता, बल्कि बाज़ औक़ात अगर मैं स्टूडेंट्स से कहूँ कि आप लाइब्रेरी से बुक लेकर पढ़ सकते हैं फ़लाँ राइटर की, फ़लाँ शायर की, तो वो कहते हैं कि हमें जो है कोर्स की किताबों से फुर्सत नहीं मिलती, बाज़ औक़ात कॉलेज की तरफ से इजाज़त नहीं होती, बाज़ औक़ात कई जगहों पर बच्चों के घरों से इजाज़त नहीं होती, बाज़ औक़ात उनकी अपनी दिलचस्पी नहीं होती। तो ये भी लम्हा फिक्रिया है, जैसे भी मैम रज़िया ने कहा। तो ये बहुत सी बातें हैं जो हमें किताबों से दूर लेके जा रही हैं, और बतौर उस्ताद मेरा ख्याल है हमारी जिम्मेदारी बनती है कि हम बच्चों के अंदर ये शौक पैदा करें कि वो किताब की तरफ आएं।
हाँ जी, बिल्कुल। मैंने जैसे आपको एक छोटा सा एग्जांपल दिया है कि कोटेशन से शुरू कीजिए, एक एक लाइन की कोटेशन से रोज़ाना इंट्रोड्यूस करें बच्चों को, ताकि वो उसको समझें, पढ़ें और आपको समझाने की कोशिश करें, उसका मीनिंग उसको एक्सप्लेन करें। ये आपकी एक वार्म अप एक्टिविटी हो सकती है। फिर एक बुक क्लब आप डिज़ाइन कर सकते हैं।
अपनी क्लास में ये मैंने शुरू किया हुआ है। जुमे के दिन हमारा क्लास का टाइम मुख्तसर होता है, तो उसमें मैंने हर बच्चे से कहा है कि आप एक कोटेशन, कोई अच्छा शेर, कोई कोटेशन लेके आए, बेशक लिख के लाएं या जुबानी याद करें, और फिर वो डाइस पे आके पढ़ें।
बिल्कुल। तो वो एक फन एक्टिविटी है। एक दफा मैंने क्लास के साथ ये किया था, मुझे एक प्ले पढ़ाना था, फिर मैंने सोचा कि इसको मैंने टोटली उसको एक नया फ्लेवर दे दिया। मैंने उनको एक लाइन लिख कर दी, मैंने कहा ये लाइन है, इसके ऊपर आप ही प्ले लिखेंगे, आप ही उसको डायरेक्ट करेंगे, आप ही इसमें एक्ट करेंगे, और आपके पास 6 वीक्स हैं इसको बनाने के लिए। एंड बिलीव यू मी, ये सारे बच्चे जो थे कॉलेज के स्टूडेंट्स, तो इन्होंने खुद ही उस लाइन के बेस पे वो प्ले खुद ही लिखा, अपने कैरेक्टर्स भी खुद ही बनाए, और फिर हमने कॉलेज प्रिंसिपल को बुलाया और वो बाकायदा हमने कुछ 30 मिनट का कि 25 मिनट का प्ले था, वो उन्होंने प्रोड्यूस भी खुद ही किया एंड इट वाज वंडरफुल एक्सपीरियंस फॉर देम।
जी मैम, मैंने भी एक दफ़ा ऐसे हुआ स्कूल में, मैं अब्टाबाद में मैं प्राइवेट में पढ़ाती थी, उन्होंने कहा मैम आप कोई एक्टिविटी बताएं, तो मैंने कहा ड्रामा करते हैं, मैंने लिखा और उन्होंने सबने परफॉर्म किया और एनुअल डे पे पेश किया और बहुत अच्छा रहा।
हाँ, this is creativity, this is critical thinking, this is reflective thinking. You are using all these three skills into one activity, one fun loving activity.
थैंक यू सो मच मैम। I'm Almas Hafiz। आज का सेशन बहुत अच्छा था। आपने बहुत अच्छे तरीके से हमें गाइड किया कि इंफॉर्मेशन और नॉलेज दोनों को हमने कैसे साथ लेके जाना है, नई नस्ल के लिए हमने डिलीवर कैसे करना है उनको, और कैसे हमने मौजूदा जो करंट हवाले से जो हमारा एक इंफॉर्मेशन टेक्नोलॉजी का दौर है उसमें हमने सर्वाइव कैसे करना है। थैंक यू सो मच मैम।
थैंक यू जी, थैंक यू, बहुत शुक्रिया। राइट जी, आई थिंक वी आर आउट ऑफ टाइम। मुनीसा, मैं इजाजत चाहूंगी अब।
बहुत शुक्रिया मैडम, थैंक यू सो वेरी मच। आपकी बातें मैं भी सुन रहा था, बड़ी लाइवली और बड़ी माशाल्लाह चीज़ों को आप बड़े अच्छे तरीके से रिलेट करके एग्जांपल के साथ लोगों से डिस्कस कर रही थी, और पार्टिसिपेंट की जो पार्टिसिपेशन है वो भी बड़ी हेल्दी और बड़ी ही प्रेज वर्दी है जी। बहुत शुक्रिया मैडम आपका, और आप हमेशा हमें टाइम देती हैं। थैंक यू सो वेरी मच।
थैंक यू वेरी मच। थैंक यू वेरी मच जी, ग्रेट ऑडियंस जी, थैंक यू। अल्लाह हाफिज, अल्लाह हाफिज।